Hello and welcome to Trails Through Trails, the podcast where we play through the long-running Trails series, chapter by chapter, game by game. And this episode, that's actually true because we're playing a full chapter in one episode.
Woo.
I'm one of your hosts, Lex, and I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Matt, I use he, him.
And today we're playing the whole damn chapter 4, a whole chapter.
The whole thing at one time. This is twice in this game so far, that's crazy.
Yeah, what is this? What are we doing?
Pacing our video games well at Falcom.
My goodness.
I mean, it was a fun little chapter. It was a bit of a breakneck pace, which was kind of nice to keep you going through what was kind of a shorter chapter overall. Plus, it starts with a bang, and I'm excited to get into it.
It starts with such a bang.
Before we do that, Lex, how you been? How's your week? How you going?
I won't lie, it's been a bit of a rough week. Work's been crazy to the point that I barely had the time to even play this. I played it on the weekend. I didn't really do any gaming during the week just because when I got home, I was so tired that I would just have dinner and go to bed. Otherwise, though, I mean, we're 2 weeks to Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, so I'm excited to have a long weekend there. And there are a lot of games that have come out in the last few weeks that I really want to play. Consume Me. I did a video on it, and I haven't been able to play the whole thing yet over on Flow State. Proud of that. Hope people check it out.
Yeah, I actually watched that last night myself.
Oh.
I quite enjoyed it. You guys had a very comprehensive coverage of both the game and kind of the issues attached to it. So it's a good watch. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a topic I think about a lot. Hades 2, I played a lot in early access, but now it's out for real and I want to play it. I want to play more of this remake. I want to finish 100 line. I have 5 days left of the final route of 100 line, so 2 endings left or something.
Oh, wow.
And I'm recording an episode for the Worst Garbage Community podcast about 100 line in a week. So I want to get ready for that. Yeah, they're doing a bonus on it, which will be fun. Shoot and Order came out this month. I still want to play that. And then all sorts of other games. Those are just off the top of my head from the last week or so, pretty much. So yeah, there's a lot I have to play and want to play, and yet no playing have I done this week. We'll report back next week. Hopefully it'll be better. What about you? How was your week?
My week was blessedly short, actually. We had a public holiday here on Friday just past. Specifically only in my state, we get a public holiday for the grand final of the Australian football.
That's amazing. I love that that's a public holiday.
It's enough of a big deal in Victoria that they give us a whole day off that no one else in the country gets, so it's a real sore point.
That's hilarious.
But I get a day off and I don't care about football, so I just get to hang out, which was lovely.
So when Australians say football, do you mean in the way that the whole world says football, or the way Americans say football? Do you actually only play with your feet, or do they do American football where they all tackle each other constantly?
No, there's hands in our football.
Ah. So it's more like rugby, like Americans?
It's kind of, closer to rugby, I guess. Less tackling. Truly, I don't know that much about football.
Fair enough.
There's less tackling. The shorts are shorter.
But it's not soccer.
No, there's 4 poles at the end of the thing, and you've got to kick it in between the things. And then everyone goes, hooray, sports, is my understanding.
Fascinating.
Yes, everyone in the crowd stands up simultaneously and says in perfect unison, hooray, sports!
I love that for you guys.
So I get a day off. That was great. I was able to catch up on the chapter we're talking about today, as well as play more of that remake, as well as record an additional podcast episode this week.
Yes, that's the other thing we did.
Be discussed further when that is released on someone else's feed. Ooh.
I think it's been announced, and because they asked for questions, so I think we can say who it is.
That's fair, yeah. We did a bonus episode of Into the Aether with Stephen Hilger talking about Trails in the Sky first chapter, OG flavor, now that he has come to the end of the game himself and was very excited to talk about it. So that was a lovely 3 hours real time. We'll see how long the episode ends up being, how much of that is absolute nonsense or complete spoilers, because I had to cut about an hour out of our last episode just from us talking spoilers the entire time with Autumn.
It's hard not to with Trails, though.
In a safe space, you're just let it all out.
There's so much to say. But yeah, that'll be up on the ITA Patreon probably in October at some point. We don't know the exact date yet. That was a lot of fun. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, it was a great time. So yeah, on top of that, I've just been playing a lot of Trails, some more Silent Hill F, because I still want to play through some more endings of that. Yeah, that's kind of it.
So do we want to dive into the chapter?
I think we should. Let's get into it. We've got a whole entire chapter to talk about this week, being chapter 4 of second chapter.
The Mist Demon's Target.
So we'd better get started.
Here I go!
So we start with a bang. They're not a loud bang because assassins aren't loud when they do things, and that's who we're with today. We start with Mueller, technically. We see Mueller Vander inspecting the Bobcat, that's the airship of the Capoas, at the Sky Bandit base with a Liberalian soldier. They comment that the airships have Erebonian design, but it's not actually practical for military use, right? Like it's the size of a scouting plane. It's got no armor, but it's way too expensive to be useful for like the military to produce. So it's just something that like rich nobles have as toys, basically. And then suddenly another person shows up into this room. It's Dorothy.
Dort.
She just kind of pushes her way through to take pictures. I love how it's clear that they, like, the people around can't tell if she's actually that much of a ditz or if this is, like, an act she puts on to get access places, like, so that she can ignore people telling her, you don't have permission to be here. She's like, oh, look at the sky. Like, I love that they're clearly, like, is she a genius or an idiot?
A thing can be two things.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just wandering in, taking photos. No one's quite sure if she's meant to be there even, because she just kind of gives that energy anyway. But yeah, she's snapping shots as Mueller inspects the Bobcat when we cut to a different area of the base where something else is going on.
Yeah, there be guards complaining.
As they want to do.
No guard likes their job in the borough.
Not a single one.
Actually, in all its Maria. But here, they think that because the intelligence division's all been caught, they find out, they're like, that's great, we don't have to stay on watch tonight anymore. But then they go, actually, a giant horrible puppet just left out of Grand Cell, so we have to be on watch for that. And they're like, are you shitting me? This is a joke, right? What are you talking about? Like some kid shot their toy out of a cannon? It's like, well, kinda. So they're very mad that they have to work, even though the thing they were watching out for is gone. And as they complain, somebody else shows up. Who might it be?
Joshua drops directly out of the sky behind one of the guards.
He must have had a trail up in there. Ooh.
He neck snaps him or whatever. It's unclear if he kills or just incapacitates these guards because we really don't know what's going on with this boy.
I think we learn later that it's just knocked out, but yeah.
He takes out the two guards silently without any alerts going off, and then the Capuas join him to infiltrate their old house.
They do. They're here to take back their airship before the Imperials get custody of it. And Joshua makes a point of actually saying that we're going to avoid killing anybody because we don't want to make any more of an enemy out of the Royal Army. And the Capuas all agree. And Donna's like, we would never resort to murder. We're the Capuas. And it's like, yes, under mind control, you were very much trying to murder a bunch of people.
Very pro-murder, yeah.
Yes, and that was under mind control, but just your memory is short, I guess. Or I guess you don't remember that. So, whatever. Because this isn't just a cutscene randomly we get to see what Joshua's up to. We then get to play as him. Not the rest of the Capuas. They're not controllable.
Yeah, they sort of act as like NPC combatants. They're not just someone you have to defend, which is nice. Joshua's really killing it in these fights early on. I was quite surprised until I looked in the menu and realized that he's level 71.
And his quartz are insane. Like, he's got all, like, they're all, like, level 4. Like, almost all of them are level 4.
Literally, my second screenshot for this chapter is his quartz menu because it's insane. I didn't even know that we had level 4 quartz. I thought they capped out at level 3.
Joshua has access to things the rest of us mere mortals don't.
Yeah, he has action, evade, and EP cut 4.
Yeah.
Which means that he's very fast, he's very hard to hit, and he can cast as many goddamn spells as he likes. Very powerful. I look forward to being able to make myself that powerful.
Yeah.
I thought this was cheating. I thought this was like a game-breaking thing in the same way that Lauren's last game had an art that was beyond the possibilities. I thought, oh, is Joshua just got action level infinity +2? But it turns out later this chapter you can start getting these, and I was very excited.
Yes, it is. It's exciting stuff. So yeah, we start in our mission, and we immediately ambush the guard captain. Like, we go into a room. After the fight, Josette is like, were you just holding back when you fought us, all that stuff in the first game? Like, this is ridiculous. We wouldn't be able to stand up against you. And Joshua says, I wasn't really holding back, but my switch hadn't been flipped. And he puts, like, air quotes around switched. He goes, it's enough to say that with my switch flipped, I am utterly focused on logical analysis and action, which will further my goals.
Okay, buddy.
So edgelordy. But then they're like, wow, you could even fight against that Lawrence guy. And he's like, no, I wouldn't be able to. I'm, like, my training's all, like, guerrilla tactics and, like, assassin-y stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't go 1-to-1 against him. He says, all I can do is bite at the society from the shadows, like my namesake, the Black Fang. He's so dramatic.
Oh my god. Yeah, every line is a bit of an eye roll.
But it does serve to kind of explain, like, why he was stronger than Estella in the FC, but he wasn't level 71. So it does kind of serve to explain a little bit, like, that when Weissman gave him all his memories, he also, like, powered him up. Even though the way he says it's a bit of an explanation that we get for that. Like, that's why he's suddenly so strong in ways that he wasn't last game. But it's also very in character for the edgelord persona he's got going on right now. He clearly thinks he sounds very cool saying all this.
He does. Like, he says switch been flipped like it's this really cool terminology, but it sounds so goofy. Anyway, he's too busy being a sad boy, running around, beating up all these people. Is it me, or is the base a lot bigger than it was the last time we were here? It feels like the map is a lot longer.
I think it was always this size, but I think a lot more rooms are empty now. So it feels like you're going into a bunch more empty space. Like, I don't think they've redid the model at all.
Okay, I remember it being a much quicker run through when we were here last. I kind of figured because they said the army had taken over and, like, turned it into a training facility, maybe they'd excavated more, and that's why it felt bigger, but maybe I'm just misremembering, who knows. We make our way through the base. It's not really much going on. There's a lot of empty rooms, but there are also, I noticed all of these chests all over the place, but purely they have tear bombs and reviving bombs because Joshua has his own inventory and
doesn't have any of that shit.
They didn't really stock it. I don't know why he wouldn't be prepared already if he's like this super commando.
Especially given how prepared he is with all sorts of stuff. Like, he's stocked up on every quartz ever, but he doesn't have a single tear bomb.
Yeah, he's so powerful that, like, more than half of his crafts are true. So they're the third level where it goes, flicker, flicker 2, true flicker.
I actually just realized something sad.
Oh?
I actually realized that this is, later in the chapter, Estelle says that the thing she worried about after seeing that picture of him is that he's not worried about his own life at all. He's not looking at it all for his own safety or looking after. So it actually kind of tracks that he's not carrying anything to heal himself with because he's just completely reckless, not caring if he gets killed.
Ooh, interesting. I like that.
I only just put that together when you were pointing that out. But yeah, that totally tracks. That when he's not being controlled by me, then he's not getting any healing items. It's only when the player takes control that he gets any healing items.
Yeah, because honestly, if I hadn't picked up all of those healing items in those chests, he would have died in the fight that happens at the end of this little segment. Because it's tough.
One funny thing that happens while you're running through is if you check out one of the locked doors, you'll see that Mueller and Dorothy are having dinner with the soldier who was with Mueller. They're chatting about how great the food here is, and the other soldier's like, oh, surely the Great Empire has great food too, and Mueller goes on about how really bad the army food is. It's just, like, horrifically bad, and Dorothy goes, is that why you guys attack people so often? Because your food is yucky? Which is great.
Yeah, because he talks about it being, was it like stale bread, overcooked beans, and I think dry meat is the other one he mentions?
Something like that.
Oh, it's oversalted corned beef, that's what it is.
Yeah. That only just tastes of salt or something.
Yeah, and Dorothy absolutely gets him. He's like, oh, is that why you're always invading? Are you doing a Britain? Are you invading for spices? Sure seems like they are. Also great to get another moment of a young woman just completely destroying an older man by accident after Estelle also called out Agate for being like, oh, do you have daddy issues about my dad as well? Is that your problem?
Yeah.
And he just kind of broke.
The brilliant women are great at this.
Yeah, real insightful. So after hearing this through the door, Josh is a little bit shaken. Doesn't quite lose his cool guy composure, but he does say, let's just move on. We don't need to go knock these ones out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a shift because he wanted to, like, burst into the room the first time and, like, take everyone out before they had a chance. And now he's just like, we can just move on from this one.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because Dorothy's there and he doesn't want, like, he still likes Dorothy. Yeah. Or if it's because he thinks he knows enough about who Mueller is to be like, he'd be a hard fight. I think it might be the Dorothy of it all, though, because he doesn't quite put together how impressive Mueller is. Like, he knows he's tough, but he doesn't know how strong until the end.
I kind of read it as he just didn't want to run into anyone who would recognize his face either.
Yeah, good point.
And yeah, if he's saying, let's not do any killing, if he gets, like, recognized, that's kind of out the window, I think. But eventually, after sort of crawling our way through the base, there's not really that much going on, but we make it to the Bobcat after finding the ignition key in one of the rooms as well.
Mm-hmm.
And some soldiers arrive to get beaten up by us, so we do that to them.
Yes. And then once we beat up these soldiers, the Kappas are like, okay, we gotta get on the ship and, like, get it started up. So they go to do that. Josh was like, I'll stay here, hold up the place because more people will be coming. The brothers get on the ship, but Gisette stays. And Joshua's like, what are you doing? And she's like, okay, my brothers can get the ship going without me. I'm here to watch your back. And then she says, for someone as smart as he is, he's weirdly short-sighted and says, quote, despite the whole blah emotional distance, you are my chess pieces thing, you've been really helping us out a lot. Do you think we're just going to dump you here and run at this point? Like, I like that she, like, the Capuas clearly are like, we know you're just doing an edgelord act.
Yeah.
They're not taking his shit seriously at all, which I think goes better. Like, if it was played as though the Capuas were all intimidated and, like, impressed by his attitude, I don't think it would feel as good or as organic as the fact that they're clearly like, okay, kiddo, sure, you're the dark edgelord of evil. Like, I don't know. And it wouldn't make the moments where he does, like, do something really impressive as chilling if it was, like, everything he was saying was actually, if everyone acted like, oh, everything he says is so intimidating, then the moments when he jumps out of the sky and, like, knocks two people out immediately wouldn't be like, oh, damn, Joshua. That'd be like, now he's, like, whatever, doing his Mary Sue thing.
I guess it kind of depends on whether or not he says something dramatic after knocking them out. It's just like, don't worry, you won't remember a thing. Again, it's kind of that energy of like, if his switch has been flipped, it hasn't been flipped since he was 11. So this is just resuming his like 11-year-old idea of what it is to be a scary assassin. And it's so DeviantArt at this point.
It's adorable, actually. It's like adorable, but also like embarrassing, but in a really endearing way to me. I'm like, oh, this is so embarrassing. I love you, Joshua.
Yeah, anyone who knows you well seeing this would just be like, oh, buddy. It's very transparent. But yes, we get confronted as we're sort of waiting for the ship to start up. One more combatant enters the fray. Mueller Vander shows up. He is ready to stop us from stealing the ship. He does kind of say, like, I don't really give a shit, but this is my job. Like, honestly, it would be easier for me if you stole this, but I've seen you trying to steal it now, so I have to stop you.
Yeah, he's literally like, since I'm here, I have to stop you.
Yeah.
But if I don't actually care. Like, it's kind of like, he's like, I wish I just hadn't heard and come to see what the fuss was about. Because now that I've seen it, I have to do something. But I wouldn't care if I hadn't heard.
It's like if a Pokemon trainer met your eyes and then they said, fuck.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And he's not fucking around. There's a reason that Mueller is such a big deal in the army, because they just fight tough. It does feel unwinnable, but...
It is winnable, but it's very hard.
I won it. Woo.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at us go. But it's tough. Like, you really... And Josette's knocked out on the floor. Like, she is not making it. Oh, did you keep bringing her back?
I managed to keep her.
Oh, wow.
Basically, my process was I sped Josh up with Orbment set up as much as I could.
Me too.
Yeah, because then you get Clock Up EX, which is like it's like the double speed up one. Yeah, it's like 40% instead of 20% speed up or something. And then Clock Down on Mueller.
Yes.
It doesn't always work. He's resistant to it, unfortunately. So it was a lot of that, and then just like stacking heals on Josette to keep her up, because she does kind of keep him distracted a little. She doesn't achieve much, but she is just another moving target, and that's kind of what I needed her for.
Yeah, I just let her go when she went down.
I'd let her go a couple times, but I did use the like 2 or 3 reviving bombs that I was given during the dungeon just to save her. And, EP charges, that's the other thing they give you, because you do burn through spells crazy fast in this fight. Because Joshua is the only controllable character that you have, so he's the only one you can kind of strategize with.
I actually didn't use that many EP charges because I was just using True Dual Strike, like, most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Or just a standard move, just to keep the speed up.
Yeah, it's just a lot of juggling to make sure that all of the buffs and debuffs stayed in place the way they were. After a long fight, I did manage to knock him down. I don't think... You don't get, like, BP or anything for it. It's just, like, a flex moment, basically.
Yeah, it's just a flex. There's no, like, consequences to not beating him.
Either way, like, in this version, he gets knocked down, and they're like, haha, and then he gets up again immediately. And it's like, well, shit. So I assume if you lose, he just knocks you down, and you say, well, shit.
That's what I imagine, yeah. We do get some fun dialogue after we've had this well shit moment. So Joshua is looking at Vander and goes, master level swordplay and the last name Vander. I think I can guess who Olivier must be in that case. So we don't know what this means yet, so I'm not going to say more. But that's a fun line.
Yeah, Mueller flips it on him and is like, oh, I know who you are too, Joshua Astray of Hamel.
Yeah, lost child of Hamel. I think he says.
Definitely catches Joshua unaware because he does seem surprised. He's not able to keep up his, look.
And then he gets really angry.
Yeah, then he goes Dark Super Saiyan.
Mueller goes, as we thought. I guess even that idiot's guesses can be right sometimes, which must mean Olivier, because that's who Mueller calls that idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joshua has, an angry face we've never seen on him before. Maybe it's this, similar to what happened when Estelle was getting attacked with the Kronos Rod or whatever in 1, but he had a different portrait otherwise in that game, so it's not identical. And he powers up with a black aura. And then he goes, may I ask then, Major Vander, with air quotes around Major. He goes, how do you know about that? And Mueller goes, so you do have a killer's gleam in your eye. After all, I'll give you all I have then, Enforcer, also with air quotes. And then he powers up with a goldenish aura, a light goldenish aura.
Yeah.
They're both ready to Super Saiyan it out. But then the Bobcat fires up and it's ready to go. And Josette's like, come on, Joshua, get on the airship. And Joshua's like, oh, right. He's like, oh, shit. I, was so ready to, do Aura's shit that I forgot that this was just killing time until we could escape.
Yeah, that was maybe the first and only glimpse we've gotten of, properly grimdark Joshua. The actual assassin, not the performative assassin.
The actual scary guy. And then as they take off, Dorothy and a bunch of other soldiers run in. Dorothy gets that picture that she shows Estelle, so clearly this is all set before that scene in the last chapter. And then we see Mueller going down the stairs to, back, I guess, where he'd been before. And he ponders whether it was he or Joshua who actually escaped. Which person really escaped in that case. Maybe I'm greener than I thought. But then he says, Hummel, I guess I've no choice but to help him after all.
Dun, dun, dun. And then we cut to our title card, Chapter 4, The Mist Demon's Target.
Ooh.
And I was really excited at this point because I thought this was an intermission chapter all about Joshua and the Capuas. It's not, but...
It's not. That would be really fun.
It was still a fun little side adventure. I've kind of liked that we've had these, beginning or ending of chapter cutaways where we've, done a fight as someone else or done this little mini dungeon. Yeah, it's really exciting.
It is quite fun. I really like that storytelling decision. But now we're back to our main crew, our main girl, Estelle, and she is sighing moodily over that picture that we just saw get taken. And she says a great line. She goes, tossing on a scarf, trying to look cool, huh?
Yeah.
Even while she's depressed and moody over him, she's still, clocking him for, being an edgelord. We also get a close-up, then, of the photo, and we get to see Josette and Joshua's faces, and it's so fucking funny, the faces that they're making. Josette's got the most, comical, cartoonish, evil smile.
Yeah.
And Joshua is, just so blank-faced, dead-eyed. It looks like a completely different art style, almost. It's so funny.
Yeah, Josette's smiling at the camera, almost purposely yeah, I stole your man, which is a crazy thing to do in the middle of a heist, but she really got her moment.
And Joshua's face, it just looks like a totally different art style, and he just looks so done with everything.
It does. It almost looks like he has, a simplified eye, he's going through a lot, that boy.
Now, I'm curious what happens for you, because for me, Shara comes out to talk to Estelle, but I was wondering if Agate does it for you.
I think it is Shara for me, because it seems like the story unifies at this point, and we're not sort of doing the alternating anymore.
The reason I asked that is because when I went and talked to Agate in the airship later, he and Estelle were yeah, I guess both of us had a lot of crazy things happen, separately the last little while.
Oh, okay.
And, Estelle's yeah, I tend to get restless on airships, so I walk around a lot. And I was okay. It's clearly, not what scene you would have gotten, because obviously your Agate knows that Estelle walks around airships.
When I checked in on him in his seat, he did have different dialogue. He sort of, asks her, are you doing your usual walk-around thing? And she's yeah, just stretching my legs. But
just briefly, what Shara says when she comes to check on her, she says, just basically is I know something's going on. I'm guessing that's you, Joshua. You don't have to talk about it till you're ready, but I am here for you. And also she lets us know that this is one of those circular ships, so it stops in Rolent before it gets to Bose.
Yeah.
So she's just make sure you get back to your seat before we land in Bose. And then I have an update in the Anton saga. Keeping up with the Casanova, Loverboy and the Pearl.
Mwah.
Oh, yes. I did see them in the background of this first cutscene, and I was just oh god, they got on the ship with us.
They did. So Anton says, I'm not one to smolder away in the capital. Anton, you've never smoldered a day in your life. That's not me. No, siree. I'm going to travel the burl wherever my legs can take me. I know that somewhere out there, there's someone who needs me, and I'm going to find that someone. And Ricky says, so suddenly Anton decides he absolutely needs to go to Bose. This happens a lot. So I'm tagging along to keep an eye on him. Could be fun playing tourist, at least. I find that quite funny. Just that he's like, this happens a lot. Like, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, real main character syndrome on this guy, for sure.
It is quite funny that he's so very much not the main character and yet has such strong main character syndrome. Well, I guess the point of Trails is everyone is the main character of their own story, but at what cost?
Yeah, usually it means their story has peaks and valleys, not just failure after failure. But, live your life. So yeah, it's time to do laps of the airship. I actually got a surprise cutscene immediately because I decided to work my way from the bottom of the ship up.
Oh, yes. I went there later, but yes, I got the cutscenes. Yeah, we can start there, though. We can start bottom.
So down in the hold of the airship, Olivier's on his shell phone again. He's reporting in on sort of Estelle's coming and goings, the events that have been transpiring in the first 3 chapters.
He's basically like, oh, that's what the photographer was telling her, must have shown her then. Like, it's pretty clear he's talking to Mueller about what Mueller just saw. Like, they're updating each other on what's happened on each of their ends of life. Though they're both, like, Olivier's taking the conversation very seriously. He's not doing his normal, like, jokey flirting with Mueller all the time. He's being very much, like, down to business. Like, okay, here's what I have to report. Here's what you have to report. Yeah.
He tells him to get on to preparations as soon as he arrives back in the Imperial capital.
He also says we don't need to inform the army yet, and says, I imagine he has predicted all of this anyway. I think they say the Royal Army, so the Liberal Army.
Yeah.
I'm guessing by he means Cassius probably predicted all of this, because that's the last mysterious he that Olivier was talking about, but it could be someone else. Like, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, he seems like the most likely candidate.
And since he's saying we don't need to tell the Liberal Army, because the head of the Liberal Army probably knows already, like, that makes sense.
Yeah. He also mentions, like, a bit of surprise at Joshua being a match for Mueller in combat.
Yeah.
Which made me wonder if this would be a different line if I hadn't won the fight.
I wonder. I could see the way it ends if you don't beat him still being like, oh, they're at a draw kind of thing.
Yeah, you held him at bay at least. I chose to see it as, like, a reward for doing such a good job at fighting. They're like, that Joshua, he's impressive.
Yeah. One thing I really enjoyed where Olivier hangs up the phone and he kind of sighs and he goes, this is one guess I dearly wanted to be wrong about.
But yeah, Estelle sort of comes in at this point, immediately calls Olivier on his bullshit.
Yeah, he's like, I was reciting lines from a play. And she's like, do you think my brain's made of cottage cheese?
And she's just like, look, a lot of stuff doesn't add up about you, and that's annoying. But
she calls him Mr. Erebonian Suspicious Person, which is very funny, all with capitals.
Almost a cool title alert.
Almost.
She also brings up again his secret whatever about her dad, because he was looking for him, and what happened with that, she doesn't know.
And they had a secret talk of some kind, apparently.
But she does say, look, you don't add up, but you are important to the team, and I do, for some reason, trust you. So just don't betray that.
And then Olivier gets a ... and Estelle goes, hey, what's with the drippy dinner plate eyes? And it's like, clearly, Olivier is actually, like, really touched by her coming and being
touched,
like,
yeah.
I really think I could trust you no matter what. And he's touched. And then he tries to cover for it. He goes, oh, it's nothing. You touch my heart, fair Estelle. You do not fear. I shall not betray your trust, nor do I find your trust and love a burden. I give myself gladly to your cause. And she goes, love has nothing to do with it, but thanks, Olivier.
Yeah.
So I loved that scene.
She's really doing, like, a motivational speaking tour as she goes around the ship this time. Like, a lot of the conversations she has with the party members are just kind of, like, being a good leader.
I love how, like, over the course of this game, the conversation she has in the airship, like, you see her growth as a character being reflected in the kinds of conversations she's having with party members every time.
So next up, I stopped in with Tita, who's a level above Olivier. She's worrying about not being reliable enough, which is very sweet.
She's beating herself up so bad, the sweet baby. She's taking what happened with Ren so hard.
Yeah, she's putting a lot of it on herself. So Estelle assures her, being here is help enough.
Not just because of your mechanical skills either, yeah.
You as a person are valuable. And then she's like, and you can do this, and gives her a hug. Very sweet.
And then she points out that she thinks that Ren did have fun playing with Tita despite everything. And she goes, so maybe it was just an act so she could do, Capital's evil Ouroboros stuff or something. But you know what? I don't believe it was all a lie. You reached her. I know it. And I think that really cheers Tita up. And I think that's very sweet because I think Tita's clearly taking it really, really hard that she thought Ren was her friend. And I think Estelle is saying, Bren's got issues, but I don't think she was just lying to you the whole time. I think she liked you too.
Yeah, Tita's very much a character who always puts all the blame on herself. We had the same thing last game. That's why she had to get slapped by Agate.
The slapping, which sees a return this chapter. Not from Agate, but we get another slapsgiving.
And I'm about to arrive at the slap in the remake as well. I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh. You're making such good progress.
It's so much easier with, like, checkpoint markers.
I'm still in chapter 1, yeah. I just haven't had time to even play anything.
Who did I talk to next? Oh, Agate was the next one I talked to. He talks about chasing the bandits on arriving at Bose.
They talk a bit about that in mine too, yeah. Basically, like, yeah, we'll start chasing them down and Estelle's cagey.
Yeah, she's kind of doubtful that they would work with the society. She's like, they're nuisance bad guys. They're not evil bad guys.
I also think she's clearly freaked out about the fact that she knows Joshua is with them, and she's trying to deflect from, like, maybe we don't need to immediately start chasing down the bandits, because, then Joshua's with them, and I don't know how to deal with that. But she doesn't say that, so she gets to say, they don't seem to be the kind of baby eaters the society usually brings on, which is, I love the things she keeps calling the society.
I mean, they're doing some fucked up shit, but we're not eating babies out here in Liberl. The name calling is getting worse and worse, which is very funny.
It's so fun.
When I talked to Jin, he asked about Estelle's hometown, because they're going to be stopping over in Rolent on the way to Bose.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice was that Estelle specifically mentions that not only did Dad build their house, but he wanted to build it outside of the town walls on purpose. And I was just I found that curious. It's like, they don't really have a reason why. It's like, why did he want to be removed from society that much? Because this would have been long before any of the family tragedies. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering that too. Maybe we're reading into it and it's just that he wanted to, like, live a little more countryside-ish.
Yeah, maybe. Also very sweet was that Jen asks Estelle to be his training partner. And she's like, oh, shit, training with an A-rank bracer? Okay.
Yeah.
I think she's very scared of what that experience will be like, but she's also very happy to kind of be welcomed into the fold as kind of a colleague, which I think is very nice.
No, it is quite nice. Shara, for me, didn't really say much of anything because it was just kind of a callback to what they were talking about at the beginning of the chapter. Just make sure you get back to your seat in time or something like that. Like, really not much.
Chloe, though, is fun.
So good.
She's chatting with Chloe and talking about how she reveals the photo to her at this point.
Yeah, so Chloe's like, something happened to Joshua, what? And it sounds like, how did you know? Oh shit, I just gave it away to you. And they talk about how, like, Chloe does have some political, like, skill, some, heir to the country skills that she just, like, baited Estelle with. And Estelle's like, God damn it, princess. But she then shows her the photo. Yeah,
shows the photo, and they're worrying together, and then Estelle says it's not just that he's running around with a bad crowd, it's that he's with another girl. And the funniest thing is that the very first thing that Chloe says is, how old?
Yeah. Is this another adult sexualizing Joshua, or is this...
Is this an age-appropriate person? Is this a predatory cougar? What are we dealing with? She's just, like, locked in, is like, all right, battle plan.
Well, yeah, when she says it's a girl our age, Chloe says there's no excuses for that. And Estelle says, yeah, my current plan is to have Olivier sing at him for an hour, then we'll hear everything.
Yeah, so she's basically planning to Olivier board him.
Yeah. Before that, though, when Estelle's talking about her concern over Joshua, she reminds Chloe of the time that they went to arrest Mayor Dalmore. Do you remember how Joshua responded when Dalmore threatened me with that gun? If I said that Joshua's eyes are like that right now, what would you think? And Estelle brings up Joshua's eyes in that photo a lot this chapter. Like, that look in his eyes scares her more than anything. And she's not scared of him, but scared for him. It's made very clear.
Again, sorry, another call out to the remake. I also just played through that scene last night. And the voice acting, ooh, yes, it's very distinct when Joshua's, like, losing his cool. It's a very cool moment. Bouncing back and forth between first and second chapter like this is really great because I'm getting all these comparisons and contrasting looks at the different versions of the locations and kind of the character growth and stuff. It's fun.
I'm so excited to play more of it. My God.
After threatening to commit corporal punishment on Joshua, It's time to take our seats. So we sit down and we get the lovely announcement. It's like, hey guys, we're about to land.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing.
Oh.
There was an NPC in the same space as Chloe, a crew member named Alex, which is my name, so that's cool. And he says as a kid, he really wanted to wear the Janus school uniform. And then he, like, really unconvincingly starts stammering, I mean the male uniform, totally the male uniform.
I didn't get that.
Alex, stop being ashamed. Embrace your truth. Like, go, stop hiding. Go talk to Godfather Divine. You'll see that you have nothing to hide.
I'm pretty sure that the play made it into, like, the national newspaper. So you should know that they are all about, non-gender conforming dress.
Janus would be all for that. Yeah.
Janus. It's short for genderless. But yeah, I love that we get the announcement. Is like, we'll be landing shortly. Everybody, please take your seats and and no one sort of gets up confused about this. Everyone else in the airship seems very calm about the scream.
Yeah, nobody reacts. Like everyone just kind of sits in their seats, and then we go see into the cockpit, and it's like, did not cause any concern in the passengers. Basically, they seem to have descended right into a cloud, except it's way too low to actually be a cloud. They get contacted by Rolent air traffic control, saying that the town's engulfed in a deep fog. That's not normal at all for Rolent. It's not like Rolent doesn't get this. It gets some mist, but not this kind of fog. And there's basically no visibility. And then we get an announcement saying, like, by the way, we're going to be stopped in Rolent for a while because we can't see shit, and hopefully we don't die landing.
Yeah, I do like that they have, like, the big floodlights that come up at the landing port.
Yeah.
To help guide them in. It looks very cool in amongst the fog effects.
Yeah, it's great.
But it seems like we're going to be stopping over in Rolent for a little bit longer than expected. Oh, actually, which did make me think in the moment, because one of the other things that Estelle says while hanging out with Jin was that when they're talking about the house, Jin's like, oh, I'd love to come and visit sometime. And she's like, yeah, that would be great. I don't think we'll have time this time because it's only a layover, and then we'll be moving on. But now he gets to check out the house. I didn't actually think to take him with me when I go to the house, though, to see if he had any...
I didn't think of it either. I totally didn't.
Oh, damn. So we're sort of camped out of Rolent, so it's like, all right, well, let's go check in at the guild house, I guess, and see what's going on.
Since we're grounded for a while, yeah. So we go over, and there's a great little bit where Olivier is hiding behind a bulletin board from Ina.
Yeah.
Until she calls him out. She's like, what are you doing back there, Olivier? And he goes, I was certainly not flashing back to memories of the destruction of my liver, just for the record. Like, I love that they had his little sprite actually, like, hiding from her.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing that realized in 3D as well. But yeah, we sort of get the lowdown about this fog. Like, it's been very sudden. No one really knows what's going on or how far it reaches, just that it's incredibly dense in and around the city. I did like there's a line from Ina, I didn't screenshot it, but she sort of says, I'd like to task you with, like, helping out with this. Obviously, we can hardly fight fog with violence, so I just need you to go and check the extremities. She's like, you cannot punch this problem, just getting ahead of that.
Then there will be fog monsters to punch later, so we guess
wrong.
we get some of that. But yeah, all the other bracers in the group are like, yeah, we should stay here and help. And Estelle's kind of freaking out. She's like, wait, no, but we have to go to Bose. We have to go.
Yeah. And
Shara kind of talks her through this, and is like, it's also important for a bracer to prioritize, like, logically assess priorities and not let their emotions run amok. And we can't even get to Bose right now unless it would take a day or whatever to even walk there. And meanwhile, we're right here, and there's clearly a problem. So
yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like, she calms down. She's like, you're right. Sorry, I was just crashing out a bit, but you're right.
So it's time to basically check out the 3 exits from town and see how far out the fog goes, because we don't really have, like, an exact picture of the situation yet. So we're just going to go until it's not foggy and then tell Ina about it.
Yeah. And Anton has another update here. So if you go right now to the airport, he's standing around there and he's screaming that, I put all my hopes, my dreams, my money into this Bose trip. Even nature itself conspires against my quest. Nature! Every time he says nature, it's in all caps. His friend Ricky just goes, Anton, spitting at the heavens isn't going to get us anywhere. So I assume that he's actually, like, spitting up at the sky in anger.
That man. Ugh.
I love that we've committed to this bit, even though it makes you miserable every time you hear what he's up to.
He's just such a whiny little bitch.
He is. It's absolutely.
It's kind of fun, but at the same time, it's just like, It would just be nice for you to check in with reality one time, Anton. You just connect with the fact that you kind of suck just for a moment.
Well, and also there's a crisis of seriously, people's lives are in danger in every chapter, and he's whining in the same location where there's been a life endangering crisis. He's also there being but my love life, and it's people were just almost died. Can you maybe stop making it about yourself for half a second, buddy? But he can't. He really cannot.
He cannot. Although, actually, speaking of people who like to stand around complaining while big serious events are going on, the first side quest that we do during this very serious situation is The Ring That Flew Away. I at least initiated it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, me too.
A quest from Armand and Ellie, our friends who were going on an unsuccessful date around the country last game.
Yes.
And then stood in front of the castle complaining that the coup interrupted their visit to tour the castle.
The proposal.
Oh, the proposal, yes. But now we've been informed that they've lost the engagement ring.
This was the sewer proposal couple in the initial where she rejected him because he tried to propose in a sewer. And also, it sounds like they weren't actually dating at that point. This was the first date. He tried to propose to her in a sewer.
And then they traveled the entire country together.
They've come so far.
In the middle of this big, serious situation where there's a creepy fog that's maybe hurting people, we don't know what's going on with this yet. The first thing that we get told to do is a bird stole my ring, which feels very classic Rolent Bracer mission.
It does. It's not the most classic Rolent Bracer mission we'll get this chapter, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel for it because he does say that he spent all of his life savings on this ring, and I'm I would also be rings are expensive. I do have some sympathy, even though it should not be the biggest priority. It's more reasonable than Anton's freaking out about nature conspiring against his love life to be my life savings went into this ring. I can't buy another one. Please help us. But it doesn't help that these two are the most obnoxious lovebirds you've ever seen in your entire life.
It's true. Another side quest that I personally found obnoxious, the fishing spot search.
Oh no, I'm so sorry for you. I was thinking of you as I was doing it.
You told me it was coming. I knew there was going to be a side quest. You did forewarn me. And you know what? I finally learned how to fish. I figured it out.
So was the issue the input, or was it that you were doing it wrong?
See, I tried it a bunch of times. I started to save it, because basically the mission is you're meant to go around and find as many fishing spots in Rolent and surrounds as you can. There's 6 total that you can find sort of across the map of the area.
Yeah, though you can't find the last one until, I guess, the start of next chapter.
Yeah, but you have to not only find the fishing spot, but you have to successfully fish something up to record it as well. Yeah. And that's where I said, oh, shit, and had to look up Reddit threads. Thankfully, I'm not the only person to have had this problem. A lot of people out there going what am I actually meant to be doing? Because there's a sound prompt, there's an exclamation mark prompt, there's staring at the water, there's staring at the fishing rod. Mm-hmm. It turns out that for me, what I needed to do was watch the fishing rod itself. When it wiggles, that was my signal. Because I tried different points in the little animation of the exclamation mark above her head. I tried going by the sound. It just was no luck. And even then, it was iffy, but I mostly got it. So I did successfully get through fishing.
Well, congratulations. You fished.
I fished.
You did it. I'm proud of you.
But that was kind of all of the side quest stuff I touched on. I think there's a couple of monster eliminations as well or something. There always is. Yeah,
there was a couple of those. I went down to, you pick up that one at Garoon Gate. So that's the first direction I went because I knew that I was heading there. And so I did the Elise Highway. While you're doing monster quests, you also will automatically get a cutscene when you reach the edge of the fog.
Yeah.
And then I went to Estelle's house because I was supposed to do that too. Did you do that at this point?
Yeah, so I made a stop at the Bride house first, because that's kind of at the mouth of Elise Highway.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting. You get a little bit of story time when you arrive.
Yeah, who was in your party?
So I had Shara, Tita, and Olivier at this point, I believe.
All right, yeah, same here. Now, the first thing I want to point out is then when we get there, Estelle offers to put on tea for everyone, and Cher's I'll do the tea. There's something else you need to worry about, and points out that, the skylight's open. Why is nobody more worried about the fact that the window on the roof has been left open? Nobody's living at home right now. Did they leave this open all this time, or has someone broken into the house? Nobody is worried about it. Do they always leave it open? Surely it rains sometimes. That can't be. They're like, you gotta close it because of the fog. It's gonna damage the furniture or something. And I'm like, what? I was very confused by this.
Isn't, like, seeing, like, an open skylight is usually the universal sign of someone has broken in. No one mentions that at all.
I guess that's not what it means here. But anyway, she closes it, so I guess we're okay. And yeah, and then we get story time.
Yeah, so we get a little bit of backstory on how Shara met Estelle and became a bracer. So we sort of knew that she had a history in the circus already, but not much more than that.
I do want to point out that Estelle says that she's known Shara for a decade, and Shara goes, about that, give or take a few gray hairs. All of your hairs are gray, Shara. What are you talking about? And we will learn that they've always been gray. We see you at 12 later in the chapter. You always had gray hair.
Well, she's not talking about her head.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, we get a little bit of backstory. Like, when the circus used to come to town, Estelle and Shara sort of became playmates. They would hang out despite the age gap.
Estelle just kind of charged into the tents. The circus tents, she would just come hang out. You get an interesting comment from Shara that circus troops would usually get met with suspicion by residents of a town outside of performances, so they weren't used to, like, townspeople coming in, which I think is interesting, especially since there's this traveling circus. It's very much coded like Romani people.
Yeah.
And I think that this idea that they are exciting for entertainment but mistrusted outside of that and kept on the outskirts of society, I think that's quite deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Estelle kept coming over every day to play. And eventually the troupe came to love her, but then one day Estelle just played late until, like, it was going to be dark out, and so Shara had to take her home, and that was the time that she met Estelle's parents, and then, she'd come over for dinner all the time whenever the circus was in town. And Olivier says, well, Shara, it sounds like you had a really happy life with the circus troupe. Like, why did you leave? And Shara just goes, a lot happened. And this is 8 years ago, I decided I wanted to become a bracer, and I came to Liberal to ask Cassius for help. So she completely skips over giving any context as to why she decided to leave the circus and become a bracer, other than a lot happened. So
they mentioned that they met 12 years ago, and she started studying to become a bracer 8 years ago. So somewhere in that 4 years, something bad happened.
Yeah.
We will perhaps find out someday. But I think that was about all that goes on at the house. We just sort of hear about this, and then it's time to...
a bit about their background, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's time to get back to the trail. I didn't do the find the ring yet, because I knew I'd have to come back to Esmeralda's Tower later, which that's where the ring is. Yeah. Did you do it now, or did you...
I did it now, but we can just wait till it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, so I just kind of went out to the extremities of the 3 routes out of town to kind of find out where this fog is getting to. While doing this investigation, Shara does specifically say the distances out of the city, so she's just been counting steps the whole time or something, I imagine. At Elise Highway, it ends about 60 Selgay from town, and I think Selgay is... Did we say that was meters? No, I should just keep this page of the wiki up at all times. A Selgay is 100 meters. So...
Oh.
600 meters from town on the Elise Highway side.
Oh, wait, that's not that bad. Okay, 100 meters isn't that bad. I don't know why I've said yikes. That's actually not that far.
So on the... have to say this because they said it in the remake, Milk Main Road, not Milch Main Road, as I would have said.
We refuse their pronunciations, though. We refuse liberal, so we don't have to live by them. We've broken free of their prison.
Well, as my autocorrected notes say, Mulch Road, at Vert Bridge, it's about 80 Selgay, so 800 meters. No, wait, 80 hundreds of meters. That's 8,000. That's 8 kilometers.
Yikes, that's a long way.
Okay, so 6 kilometers on the Elise Highway side, 8 kilometers on Milchman Road, and then halfway up the mountain towards the Malga Mines at 140 Selgay, which is 14 kilometers.
Especially up a mountain. That's too many. Why are they going this far? In life? Why are they regularly going up that trail? That's a mountain.
That's a long way to walk to work every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Miners, powerful calves. But yeah, after hitting the extremities on each of the routes, we're ready to sort of check back in at the guild and kind of give Ina the update.
Yeah, but as we walk in to Rolent, we hear there's a weird sound, and everybody comments, did you just hear a bell? I just heard a bell. That's weird. Oh, it's a pretty sound. Everyone likes it. Shara's kind of spacing out. It's a lot like whenever Lawrence would come up in the first game and Joshua would space out. It's a lot like that. But then she's like, oh, I was just taken in by the sound too. I was just distracted. So we go to report to Aina, and we mark out the fog boundaries on like a map, but it's not very helpful. We're like, well, that told us, fuck all.
Yeah, it's shaped like a jelly bean. It's not consistently going in every direction. And they also mentioned that it's not being affected normally by sort of elevation or anything.
Yeah, or wind or whatever, thing like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's traveling further up the mountain, which would be a more difficult climb for fog to accumulate over.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Weird.
They also are commenting that this seems like a society thing on one hand, because it's an inexplicable phenomenon out of the blue in another city that would kind of be naturally the next one they'd go to, because they have been making the rounds in order, and they've been going clockwise around the country. However, Jin is like, this feels weirdly half-cooked, and Estelle's like, you mean half-baked? I don't know why Estelle is trying to correct people on their idioms, but...
I saw this as like a cute little nod that Calvard has like a different language, perhaps. So he's speaking Liberlian as a second language. And so it's just him getting an idiom wrong because he's having to translate in his head.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like a cute... She's like, oh, by the way, like the saying isn't that, it's this.
Oh, yeah. True. I just thought it was funny because Estelle's constantly getting like saying phrases wrong in general.
She has the one opportunity to be right, and she's like, I can be the one.
Yes. But he's like, but basically he says it feels weirdly half-baked or half-cooked, whichever you prefer. Because, like, it's like an earth-shaking, sometimes literally earth-shaking phenomenon. Yeah. But this time it's not. It's kind of mild. And then Olivier is like, yeah, also, we got a message of some kind in every chapter. Like, they taunted us in some way. Yeah. But that hasn't happened here. And Cher's like, well, maybe we did get a message. But then we don't get elaboration on that, because Mayor Klaus gives us deja vu by running back in again. While I was house, my out got robbed. But this time, while I was out, my collapse got made, I guess.
Yeah, Lito's not the only one. There are other people around town who have also collapsed kind of out of nowhere. And Father Divine can't divine why they are unconscious. He says it's like their souls are trapped by something, which is not really a medical diagnosis.
Yeah, it's alarming, though. So if that's your intention, if drama was your intention for Father Divine, you definitely succeeded at making it dramatic. Yeah. But yeah, so it's nighttime now, and we're going to go around and check on all of the people who have collapsed. So the victims who have collapsed are Lita, of course, Alyssa's mom at the Abend bar, and also little Luke, who's the misogynist child. But we have an update for Anton again. Keeping up with the Casanova, Loverboy and the Pearl. He's in the bar right now. He's in Abend bar. And he goes, that blonde-haired lady's been on my mind ever since I laid eyes on her. To think such a wonderful woman even existed, a chance meeting in a little village, my serendipitous arrival. The goddess may very well be directing me to true love, sweet adios. And then when you talk to him again, he goes, I'll just have to learn as much as I can about that lady starting tomorrow. Gotta do proper research first if you want to get close, which is creepy. Ricky goes, my buddy's fallen in love at first sight. Again, every time he opens his mouth, he starts talking about that woman. Blonde goddess this, heavenly mandate that. Well, it's nothing new, so not like I'll worry about it. Quick to flame, quick to cool, that's Anton in a nutshell. It's Ina, obviously, she's the blonde lady. That'll be very funny to see him try to deal with Ina.
Yeah, invite her out for a drink.
She is far too much for him. Gosh. But yeah, so that was my update there, and then I went down and did my job. So, I think we start with... Oh no, I started with the mayor, but you don't automatically go there.
Yep, I started with the mayor as well. So they basically say that Lita just won't wake up, like she fell asleep. So they asked for more specifics in terms of the timing and location where it happened. It was just before 5 p.m. In the entryway to the house. So the mayor and his wife were in the kitchen for maybe like half an hour. So it happened sometime during that. And they asked, anything else? Any weird people? Any weird noises?
It's Shara specifically who's like, did you hear anything weird?
Yeah.
Like, she's clearly got suspicions already.
And he's like, yeah, we heard a bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
A very pretty bell, apparently. Everyone fucking loves this bell.
And the mayor also mentions that he's cancelled his trip to Groundsell. He was meant to be going there for the pact signing, but he can't in good conscience leave while there's this crisis going on in his town. But also, you can't leave town at the moment because airships are grounded as well. So next up was, for me, I went to Aben Bar.
Yeah, same place. So, we said Alyssa's mom, and Alyssa's really messed up about this. Poor kid. Kit, she's Estelle's age. She's a friend of Estelle's, for those who don't remember. It also happened around 5. She and her mom were putting away the outside furniture because they figured the wooden furniture might get damaged by the fog.
Yep.
But Alyssa's dad called her inside for something. She stepped in and just for a moment, and when she stepped back out, her mom had zonked out. She was asleep on the floor.
She was on a chair specifically, so it sounds like she had a bit of time. It wasn't like an instant drop. She was able to fall asleep into a chair.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. I was just like, I guess she was like moving a chair, like because they were moving furniture. I figured she was just standing over it, so collapsed into the chair.
Maybe, yeah.
We asked about if she saw or heard anything weird, and she did actually see a person. A lady coming out of the clock tower wearing a black dress, and then Alyssa goes, I can't lie, it was kind of hot about what she was wearing, but that because of the fog she couldn't like see her facial features, but that it was clearly a traveler, it wasn't someone from Rolent. And then Alyssa really kind of is freaking out about really struggling with this, and she has a moment with Estelle. Estelle hugs her and says, we're gonna help your mom, and it's okay, you don't need to stay strong, like it's okay that you're freaking out. Anyone would be freaked out seeing their mom like collapse like this. Yeah, it's just a sweet little moment. I mean, obviously, we know that Estelle is friends with this girl and has been for a long life. And I like that friendship feels real and not just like an informed attribute, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I also love that, they have a little hug. Like, Estelle loves to hug people better.
Mm-hmm. She loves to hug.
And lastly was Luke's house. So over there we find out that Pat was the one who found Luke asleep.
Pat is so messed up about this. He is freaking out.
He's having a rough time.
He jumps into Estelle's arms, like, sobbing. Meanwhile, Luke's grandmother's there, and she's in deep denial about it. She's like, he just wore himself out playing like little boys do. Everyone's making a big fuss about it. And at first, it sounds like she's just a crabby old lady, but then towards the end, she's like, foolish, saying he'll never wake up foolish. Like, she's starting to repeat herself and sound more distressed.
Yeah.
And Estelle and Cher are both reacting sad, seeing her. Like, it's clear from the reactions that this is a woman who's clearly desperately in denial because she's terrified. And not just like, this is nothing.
We asked for updates on the same facts, like when, where, who, what, why, how.
Yeah.
So it was on top of the clock tower, just after 5 p.m.
Or Pat found him just after 5 p.m. They were playing hide and seek, so presumably he'd been on top of the clock tower hiding. We don't know how long he'd been hiding, but...
Also, when he asked for anything like unique that he heard or saw, he didn't hear anything. The only thing he can sort of recall is that it was weird how empty the port was, which... may just be the red herring. It's just like, that's the only thing he's got for us.
Yeah.
And the very last person who has fallen unconscious was Radford. Mr. Radford, who lives in one of the houses.
This is the old guy who was, like, hated his son-in-law and then made up with him last game in the first chapter.
Yeah, he lives in the little neighborhood of houses behind the shops on the side of town.
He makes the woodcrafts that some woman from Calvert tried to sell to a town that specializes in woodcrafts. He's one of the guys who specializes in woodcrafts. He's also the one who informed us last game that there's a folk story about a mischievous spirit that lives in the Mistwald.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I was too distracted by the names of his daughter and son-in-law, Eurydice and Fremont. Eurydice is such a name.
That's from Greek myth, right? That's Eurydice, who Orpheus and Eurydice.
Yes.
But she's not married to Orpheus here. She's married to Fremont. So I'm not sure what the significance of, she's not trapped in hell.
Yeah, this is where things get interesting because when they ask the questions, Radford fell asleep at 5:30, not 5 or around 5 like everyone else. And it was just outside his front door. So they literally heard him knock at the front door, and by the time they opened the door, he was asleep on the ground.
Matt, we totally forgot the side quest that's what we have to do during this time.
I had skipped over it because I wanted to pretend that we were prioritizing people's safety.
Oh, good point. Never mind. We can pretend. All right, we'll talk about it after.
So we care so much about these human lives.
Mm-hmm.
So just outside of his door, he fell asleep, but both Fremont and Eurydice heard the bell.
Mm-hmm.
From this, it sounds like the information that I was sort of deriving so far was this effect or culprit is moving around because not everything's happening at the same time. It's not an area of effect. It's something targeted.
Yeah.
The sleep that comes over them isn't instantaneous. They're not just it's not snap your fingers, slump to the floor because mum was able to get into a chair. And it's a roaming effect. It's targeting small areas, moving around town.
Mm-hmm.
Who can say? It's time to go back to the guild again. But before we do that, let's do the actual important side quest that's really important.
Yes. Missing cat. But the stupid Ida lady, last game she was convinced that Bracer was a last name and that Estelle and Joshua were Mr. and Mrs. Bracer, who lost her cat Errol because she was sleeping. Well, she also fell asleep and lost her cat Errol again. So we have to check out the airship. We have to check all over the place. We don't need to go through all the details of where we look. It ends up being clear that we think the cat's on the airship, but then they're like, well, it's a black cat we saw on the airship, but we checked the airship anyway because it's the only lead we have. Now, we're not allowed on the airship, and so Shara uses her womanly wiles to get us access to it. If you have Olivia in the party, Olivia gets super excited at realizing she's using her womanly wiles. She starts to go flirt with this guy to get on the airship, and Olivia goes, ooh, yes, in parentheses with a heart over his head. And then Shara seems to press her boobs into this guy's back, and Olivier gets so jealous. He's like, I could shit myself with jealousy. He doesn't say that, but that's kind of the implication. And everyone is shocked by how brazen Shara is, but it works. She gets onto the thing. And it turns out Errol had kittens and went onto the airship to have her kittens.
Yes, it's very cute.
Wild that this lady didn't know that her cat was pregnant. I guess she's sleeping all the time. It doesn't know what's going on. Her cat's it doesn't pay any attention to her cat. If it's your cat, you would notice if it went from not being pregnant to being about to give birth.
Now, I did grab the couple of lines that we get from the cats as well, just so we can do translations, as ever.
Oh, yes. I was hoping you did that.
When we first arrive in the hold of the ship and see Errol, we hear her go, Nyago, Nyago, twice, which is hold up, sort of urging them to be cautious. And when we ask, what were you doing in here? She says, meowon.
Meowon.
Which is classic. What did you just say, oh hairless one? An expression of reproach.
We love that. Yes.
When the kittens pop out, they say meow, which I don't think is a line we've had before. Oh, it specifically means I'm hungry, and then in brackets says kitten talk.
Oh my gosh, I was wondering if it was like kitten talk specifically, but I love that they actually specified kittens say that.
Yeah, it's just here, meow is like I'm hungry, I'm hungry. When you say take care, she says meowon, which is, sorry, meow hyphen on. Got to get the right one. There are many nuances in this conversation. Oh, it means goodbye. I thought it was, because I'm looking at the translations here, there's nya tilde on is goodbye, but nya on all is one word is I'm tired, which also would have worked in this situation.
That's true. You did just have a baby.
You just made 3 kittens, one of which is pink for some reason.
I'm really worried about this whole situation because this woman can't even keep track of her own cat, and now there's 3 brand newborn kittens, and she's always too busy sleeping to like even pay attention to her own cat. So I am worried about how this is going to go, I must admit.
And you know what? I have a suspicion. When trying to find a safe place to have her kittens, Errol went to an airship.
She was trying to get away?
Which is not a regular place. Who's the other cat that we've seen hanging out on airships? Why, it's Antoine.
Antoine, I was wondering that.
The boy cat who sneaks onto airships and goes to different towns and military bases sometimes. Did he find his way to Rolent on one of the Zeiss ships one day, get down and dirty with Errol, and then skip town like a deadbeat dad?
Oh my gosh.
She was just on the airship trying to find him. She's like, where's Dad? He needs to protect his babies.
Antoine, you dastard.
Goodness gracious, where's the line saying the cat translation for I refuse to pay alimony? But once we find Errol and her kittens, we take them back to Ida, who's staying in the hotel. I guess she doesn't live here, but she brings her cat with her.
I don't know if she's still here from her visit last time, but yeah, I don't know if she's been on vacation since last game or if she came back because she really liked Rolent because it had good sleeping chairs at the cafe. Anyway, so we go back to our real jobs. We gotta go and process everything we learned.
So back at the guild, we update Ina again with the new information about the fainties. So everyone agrees that this black dress robe wearing lady with the bell is probably...
Was super hot.
Was super hot, 1. And 2, is probably the Demon of the Mist, as they've decided to call her, which is a name that, again, came out of nowhere, like calling Ren Kitty. Yeah. It has no basis in anything.
They really like nicknaming this crew.
They do. They're like jumping straight ahead.
Actually, I wonder if that was what that folk story was called, the spirit that lives in the tree. But it wouldn't make sense that nobody mentions, like, this is like that folk... Like, especially since most of the crew isn't from Rolent, it would have been cool if we had a scene where Shara or Estelle was like, there's an old folk story around here about a demon that lives in the mist, but that's not real. Is it like, whatever. Estelle could even have been like a little worried about her ghost fear or whatever. And then people going, the Mist Demon, that would make sense because they were referencing like the folk story, but that's not what happens. I'm just writing fan fiction, clearly.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, this is the world of cool title alerts, so clearly we know that they love nicknames. That's just in character. Everyone in Zemuria loves nicknames. That's why everyone has a billion of them.
So, given that this is like a present threat and no one's got any solutions, and people are dropping out of nowhere unexpectedly, we decide it's important to patrol overnight.
Yes.
So at this point, the boys jump in and say, "We'll do night patrol. All you ladies go get some sleep."
Oh, right. So we forgot to say the commonality, right, was that there's no witnesses when anyone passes out.
Yes.
That's the big thing that they all had in common. That was a BP question. Shara at first is like, yeah, Estelle, you need to sleep. We're gonna go, us grown-up racers are gonna go patrol. And then the Agate's like, we're talking about you too, Shara. Jin jumps in to specify that it's not a gender thing. It's because they can tell that Shara's really running herself ragged and, like, she's exhausted. Which does track, given how she seemed really, like, kind of weird and keeps, like, spacing out.
Yeah.
But I like that they jump in and are like, it's not because you're a girl. The
girls agree to go get some rest.
Including Olivier, one of our favorite ladies.
Oh, yes.
Olivier tries to go along. And he's like, no, I'm just going along to protect you guys. And Estelle goes, oh, we'll protect you. We'll be protected, all right. Once I tie you to a mattress and throw you in the river, that is. Harsh. And then Agate comes out and says, no, Olivier, you have to patrol too. He drags Olivier inside with that same animation. And Estelle goes, well, that's probably the best way to domesticate Olivier on the whole. I do like this because all of Olivier's crushes are the people who drag him like that.
Yeah.
Like Mueller does that. Shara does that. I guess Agate does that. And he flirts with Agate a lot. Like he really does want to be domesticated in this exact way. So I think you're more right than you realize, Estelle.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, but then we go to the Bright House. We just cut straight to we're asleep. We're sharing a bed with Tita, very cutely. Estelle is, not all of us. And Estelle wakes up to the sound. She's like, was that a door? Tita kind of wakes up. She's like, Estelle, where are you going? And it's like, oh, sweetie, go back to bed. Like, I'm just making sure I locked up. Like, it's okay. But then once Tita gets back to sleep, Estelle is like, clearly thinks to herself, like, I heard a door. I need to make sure that was just Shara or Chloe, that nobody came in.
Yeah.
Like, she's clearly pretending it's nothing for Tita. She also tucks Tita in quite sweetly.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, okay, gotta check the beds. So she goes to check on Chloe. Well, you don't have to, but I went to check on Chloe first. Or I went to Joshua's room first.
Yeah, I did
Chloe's
too.
there sleeping. She's mumbling to herself in her sleep, like, Dean, everyone, what do I do? Like, talking about the dean of her school. Like, Chloe's stressing in her sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Estelle also...
tucks her in as well. Yeah, very cute.
I love her. She goes downstairs. I go into Cassius's bedroom, and if you interact with Cassius's bed, Estelle's like, "What? Shara's not here, but the bed is still warm." Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Like, I like that they have that touch that most people will just walk into the kitchen, I think, and see shit. Because if you walk 2 steps further, you get pulled into a cutscene. But if you go and interact with Cassius's bed,
yeah, I did check his room because I wanted to check the door outside. Because if she's checking, she locked the doors and turned off the stove.
Yes.
Yeah, I went in there. I didn't realize you could interact with the bed, but I saw that the sheets were ruffled on it. So
yeah.
Once you step into range of the kitchen, you get to a cutscene where Shara's sitting at the table doing tarot and wine, as she loves to do.
I'm so mad because I saw her with this 4-card tarot spread. I'm like, yes, I typed out tarot time in my thing. I was all ready to do this tarot reading, and then we only learned one of the cards in this whole spread, and she tells us what it means. And I was like, that's fine, but they do it twice. She goes for the tarot twice, and it's just the same card. And I'm like, why did we not get to do the full spread? Like, come on.
I was looking when they had the little animation of her flipping the card. I was like, I wonder if there's enough detail in that sprite for Lex to figure out what card it is.
Well, because she calls it out the same one, and it's also the inverted emperor. So either she has multiple emperors in her deck, which makes no sense, and it's like pulling multiple emperors, or they're all inverted, or she just pulled the same card twice for, like, I don't understand why she...
It's an oops all inverted emperor's deck.
I love the implication that they're all inverted, like, that no matter what direction you pull it in, they're going to be inverted, even though the whole point is that the inverted emperor is just the emperor upside down.
Yeah.
I like that. I support that. It sounds like, what are you doing? Shara couldn't sleep. She pulls this inverted emperor. She says, mercy, empathy, trust, difficulty, inexperience, and uncertainty regarding your enemies. And Estelle's like, well, hey, what do you mean by that? Like, clearly taking it as about herself. And she goes, I didn't pull it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly that seems to, like, strike a chord with you. And she's like, I'm not trying to push you, Estelle, but I really think you might feel better if you share what's going on.
Yeah.
And Estelle goes, sure, do you have a minute? And you get an amazing sweet line.
Yeah, she specifically calls her honey. Honey, you're practically my little sister, which is very sweet.
It's so sweet. I love them.
So she shows the photo and she kind of gives the download on what she's learned about Josh traveling around with the Capuas. They discuss it a bit and kind of come to the agreement that Joshua isn't an active threat that they need to report officially, so they can sort of figure out what to do about him without needing to get the authorities involved just yet.
And Shara even points out, she's like, this is actually, I was expecting a lot worse. Like, this airship raid, the fact that he was there, actually, it's a good thing because nobody was killed. Like, it means that he's not, like, as far gone as he could have been.
Yeah.
She points out, it's kind of a test question. She's like, well, do you think he might be a threat to the people of the world, the citizens? And Estelle's like, no, he would never do any of that. And Cher's like, yeah, then you're fine. Which I think they're still skirting the rules a little bit, probably, but...
Yeah.
But Cher's like, I also agree that he's not a danger to people, so I don't think we need to report it. But then Estelle says that the look in Joshua's eyes is what terrified her most of all, because she can tell he has zero concern for her own safety, which I mentioned before, but I like that detail because that's really true. Like, there's something so scary when you see someone you care about who has no concern for self-preservation, whether it's because they're being reckless or whether it's they're suicidal or whether, like, when someone you love clearly does not care to take care of themselves, that's like one of the scariest things in the world.
Yes.
And you can't do anything to make them care.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's brutal. So it really drives home why Estelle is such a mess, right? Like, we got it before, but I was like, oh my God, like, that really hit me in a gut punch.
As we wrap up the scene, Shara mentions that she might have something in the works as well, but needs a few days to figure it out before she presents it. Very mysterious.
Yes.
And then as the scene fades out, we hear the bell one more time.
Yes.
So the next morning, it's time to head in and meet up with the boys, see what updates we have from the overnight patrols.
Now, I stopped at the general goods store on the way. Did you also do this?
I did, yes. Now, while we're in there, Tita has a suggestion. She wants to buy thank you treats for the boys for letting us sleep all night and patrolling the town.
Really just for Agate, but she's like, and all the boys. Like, she's like, something for Agate and the guys.
Agate and the other ones.
Yeah, the non-Agate males.
Oh, that sounds like the kind of term that an unfortunate subgroup of people would use. Non-Agate males.
Oh, God. It
smacks of that energy of, like, alpha. Like, that kind of terminology, you know? It's like...
Oh, yeah.
All of these non-Agate... If Agate was the one running the, like, masculinity cult, it's like, don't be a non-Agate male.
This is pre-gender studies Agate. This is Agate when he was in the Ravens.
Actually, you know, I did see something interesting about that, again, in playing the remake. There's the scene in the start of Chapter 3 when we have that kick-ass fight scene with Agate.
How was that, by the way, the fight animation?
Beautiful. They recreated it all.
Oh, wonderful.
He does the land on the sword move and everything.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, I was so worried that they were going to simplify it, which means I'm very excited to make it to the villa and see someone do like a Singing in the Rain roundhouse kick on a light pole.
Hell yes. Oh, I'm so excited for that.
But yeah, in that scene, it's Louvet, or as we know him at that point, Captain Lawrence, who says to Agate, like, you need to let go of your fear and anger if you want to become a true, like, challenge to me. He's kind of, like, putting down his, like, combat bits. Like, you're too wrapped up in your feelings, and that's why you're not a good enough fighter. And Agate has this moment, at least in the new version, where he's like, how am I supposed to let go of my fear and anger? And then just, like, screams bloody murder.
Oh, yeah, he does that in the original, too. It's so good.
And it seems like that advice obviously hit home, because he did go away and work on his fear and anger, and that is why he is such a better character in second chapter.
Yeah.
Because he took the time, his enemy said something, and he's like...
He was like, shit, he's right.
Yeah, he's like, bad person to get advice from, but the advice is solid. And yeah, so again, just seeing all these little links, I'm like, maybe that is why Agate worked on himself, and he is noticeably, like, different in the new game.
Yeah, I love that, actually, that connection.
Yeah, a little bit of character growth for our one-note boy.
I love the idea that that's a direct connect. Like, there's a reason that he had that character arc. Like, that it wasn't just like, let's make him nicer now. That it's like he actually like took it to heart.
And it's also, the influence of being around Estelle, who's just so
Of
earnest
course.
and forthright and all this stuff.
But he's also immediately better in this game, like right from even before he's hanging out with Estelle, right? Like,
Yeah, because like he was like balking at it in the first game, like every time she'd just like genuinely say something nice to him, even though they didn't get on. And now he's just gotten used to that energy. It's like, oh, okay, it's okay to be positive towards people, and that's why he's become like an older brother figure, so much stronger.
yeah.
In any case, we're buying him a treat because we love him so much, and also the other ones. So Renon suggests
Also the
they have this new dark chocolate. It's like, it's popular with men. Guys love dark chocolate.
Because it's not too sweet. I love that it's like, yes, the boys. She's like, let's buy the boys a sweet. And it's, but men can't have anything too sweet. This just makes me think of like all of the guys I know who like refuse to order like a girly drink at the bar, but then want to take sips of yours because they like the sweet girly drink, but they're too embarrassed.
Order the drink.
That's why they're getting dark chocolate. Not that there are people who really like dark chocolate better, but that's not, I don't think, why it's popular with the boys in Rolent.
Yeah, listen, having a little umbrella in your drink will not in any way change the size of your blembus. It will stay exactly the same. You can have the fruity drink. But we're getting them dark chocolate, so we get them 3 blocks of old gold. That's an Australian joke. That's a brand of dark chocolate.
I figured it was, but I'm laughing at you saying that's an Australian joke. That wasn't me pretending to get the joke. That was me laughing at you.
That's an Australian joke. So we get them chocolate, head into the guild. Turns out there wasn't really anything going on overnight. They patrolled. I did get a line from someone later on who got like jump scared by Agate patrolling in the evening. So just like, everything was fine for me, except for that redhead guy who showed up out of nowhere.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
So if anything, they've made the situation worse by startling everyone in town.
They terrify the townspeople.
Like, pick your poison. Aggressive redhead, giant man, or pervert. Like, who do you want appearing out of the fog, coming at you Silent Hill style?
Musical pervert, excuse me. You know, the thing about Olivier is you probably hear him from a distance. He's probably playing the lute or something. He's probably not gonna... you're probably not being taken aback the same way.
But how comforting is mysterious lute music coming out of the fog, really?
No, that's true. I just meant you wouldn't get jump scared by him, but you might be terrified until you see it's him. And you're like, oh, it's a human making the music. There's not like a fucking haunted violin or whatever.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't help, but they didn't find anything at least, so that's good. At the moment, it's only Jen and Agate. Olivier's still having his beauty sleep in the hotel.
But they're like, he did work hard. He complained, but he did do his part.
Yeah, they kind of call out the, like, almost performatively complained the entire time.
Yeah.
Just as, like, it's like, I don't like this, but I am going to do it because it's the right thing. Mm-hmm. So we find out that the fog has expanded overnight, though. Out to the west of town, it's made it all the way to Perzel Farm. Mm-hmm. Whereas previously it cut off just at the start of the area that leads down to Perzel Farm in sort of the way the maps are broken up.
Yeah.
And on the mountain, it's made it all the way up to the mine. So it's climbed the rest of the mountain. Very unnatural fog.
Yeah. So basically, it's not safe for anyone in Rolent. Well, it's not safe anywhere, but it's specifically really not safe for anyone who's not living in the city because if they pass out, nobody can get the medical attention.
Exactly, yeah.
So we need to help evacuate all these people into the city, and the army is also coming. Now, what I do think is funny is the idea that the army is coming as though the army is immune to getting knocked out by whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Like, are we just getting more potential victims here?
They're not wearing protective gear when they rock up later in the chapter. They're just walking through the fog.
Well, we don't know what they need protection from. We don't know if it's gas. We don't know if it's the sound hallucinating magic. We don't know what to protect against, but it's just, I thought it was funny.
Mask up the army. It's at this point as well, I really like that we get the same exact jump scare that everyone in Rolent got last night, which is lute music appearing through the fog as Olivier approaches and enters the scene.
Yeah, right as Agate's like, well, we gotta go haul out Olivier to bed now. He's like, oh, who out of bed? Bring!
Bow, wow, wow, and his little acoustic, yeah. I love him.
His little lute. I love him so much.
This time we do decide to divide by gender lines, I guess, because the boys are going to take the mine to evacuate all the miners.
Because it's manlier.
And the girls are going to take the farm.
This is a thing that happens a lot in Trails. They will divide when they want to like set mandatory parties or just split the parties up. They end up doing it across gender lines. And I think most of the time it's just because it's an easier way to like decide how to divide people up. But it is always very funny. It's like, well, there's going to be a boy team and there's going to be a girl team now. Like, there's no logical reason, but they do this a lot.
Yeah. Before we head out to our respective gendered assignments, Tita pipes up about her gift.
Yes.
And it's very cute. Agate gets all embarrassed to get his chocolate.
But he's better at being embarrassed without being an asshole than he was in the first game.
Yeah.
Like, he just says, he's like, you guys do embarrassing stuff a lot. Which is a much better way of, like, expressing that you're feeling, you know, flustered than insulting the person who's doing something nice.
Yeah, he's not, like, yelling and leaving the room. He's just saying, God, you guys are corny. Which
is true, they are. But a sarcasm on it.
Each of the boys also has, like, their respective reason for being thankful for the chocolate. Like, Jin's like, oh, hell yeah, this is, like, great for an energy boost on the road. Olivier says something about it. It's like, oh, it's as sweet as you. And then Agate's like, I appreciate the thought. I will eat this later.
The specifically not so sweet chocolate. He's like, I guess if I get hungry.
Bit of snacks for our bitter boy. I like that they also make a point, both in the scene where you buy it and the scene where you hand it over, that everyone split the cost evenly, so it was a gift from all of them.
Yeah, like when you choose whether to get it or not, you have to choose whether to put 150 mirror towards it or not. You're not choosing let's buy them or not.
Yeah, what happens if you don't? They're just like, I guess we won't buy them a treat. Damn, Estelle, rude.
Damn, I'm a princess, but I can't afford to cover the extra.
It's like, I got nothing on me, I'm sorry. We did just get paid thousands and thousands of dollars for, like, fixing countrywide problems, but nah, I can't.
But we spent that all on the, like, vintage miso shit that costs $400 in order to make good recipes.
Yeah. I've been paying more attention to making recipes this game, where I kind of, like, left it by the wayside until late game last time. And yeah, actually trying to make all those recipes, man, it goes through a lot of ingredients. These recipes are so ingredient dense in Sky.
Yeah, it's wild.
I've noticed it in Remake because they actually have, like, achievements for doing all the dishes, so I've been more focused on that because they gave me a box to tick.
Oh, yeah. And you get stat boosts, permanent stat boosts for the first time you make each dish or something.
Yeah, which is so cool. Later games, the recipes always have much fewer ingredients, whereas these ones have
Sky's
8 things in them. Crazy.
Yeah, it's like 3 of each thing. Like, it's like, 3 pieces of steak to feed myself and a 5-year-old child. Like, what?
I have truly come to hate monster ingredients in playing Sky because I am trying to fill out the book.
Because I can't buy them?
And it's just like, you have to go get monster gelatin, and there's only one monster that drops that, and it only spawns in 2 spots, and they only drop it sometimes. And it's just so much, and there's nothing like the later games where you can trade.
Like the curio shops or whatever, yeah.
You can trade in for those monster ingredients, which are also, there's like 2 of them instead of 12.
Yeah.
I think they learned their lesson as they went, but hey, it's great to...
but they brought it back for the remake.
Yeah, it's great to chop up monsters and eat them, I suppose.
And meanwhile, we judge Orvid so hard for the ingredients he uses, but we're using the grossest shit in our cooking too.
I've been seeing some of the recipes do use firefly mushrooms, despite how bad of an ingredient was.
Yeah, firefly fungus is used in everything. I'm like, I guess it's actually not. I guess maybe he was onto something after all.
But after we hand over the chocolates, which are not made from monster parts, I hope, we are off to Perzel Farm.
Yeah, on the way, we meet CW Ashton and a bunch of army people who are coming. Ashton, I mean, we know him from the last game, but also he's Luke's dad. So
yes,
it's a bit of a conversation that he's clearly very worried about Luke, but he's trying to focus on his job. It's kind of presented in the way of like, there's all this stuff that we can't do anything about, so we're going to focus our energy on the thing we can, because that feels better than not being able to do anything, even if the thing we're doing isn't like directly affecting the thing we're worried about. Which I can relate to. Like, sometimes, like, you focus on working hard on one thing because the thing you're really worried about, you can't do anything about.
Yeah, it's like he's clearly putting on a brave face, but doing the best thing he can in the moment, which is just putting all that anxious energy into something.
Yeah.
Get the worms out from under your skin. Like, do something.
Very relatable stuff.
As we arrive at the farm after saying goodbye to the soldiers as they head on to Rolent, we walk into the farm and hear the bell again.
Yet again. And we're like, oh shit, immediately.
Yeah, and it is foggy at the farm. It is like dense.
Yeah, and then we have to fight these stupid fucking fog monsters.
That suck, yes.
The all-rounds, and they're just annoying because they dodge shit. And they cancel arts.
They can't be hit with physical attacks because they are made of
Or
fog.
it's hard to hit.
I have written in my notes here the very literary statement, "That's on diegetic tea, sis."
That's good.
You can't hit them with physical attacks. You've got to smack them with magic, which they can cancel, which is a pain. I hate the cancelers.
Mm-hmm. They're always such pests. I mean, when we first see them pop up, Estelle's like, what the fuck are these? Shara's like, we don't even have time to, like, have dialogue about what the hell these monsters are, because we have to get into the house, so we need to stop them. We beat them, and we run into the house, hoping that we are in time to save these people, and we are not. The Pearl family is passed out in the kitchen, or the dining room.
Everyone's sort of sitting around the table, passed out with their faces in bowls of soup, basically.
Yeah, and then Teoh and the mom, because clearly the women have to do all the kitchen work, they're over in the actual kitchen part.
Yep.
And Estelle's really upset.
Yeah, she's not doing great. She's already running, like, at an anxious 10, and then, like, more people that she loves are getting put in danger, while she can't do anything about Joshua at the same time.
Basically, like, they put them all to bed, and Estelle starts beating herself about this. She's like, this is all my fault. Everything that's happening is my fault. I'm not half the bracer my dad is. Like, she's just working herself up, and we get a return of the slapping. This time it's Shara slapping Estelle.
Yeah, Shara agates Estelle. Specifically, I have it as noted, the agate as a verb. Shara agates Estelle.
Yeah, Shara agates Estelle. Though I do feel like the slap feels less forceful in the way it's animated, but that could just be in my head, because especially after seeing the clip of the slap from the trailers in the remake, like, that one's so dramatic.
I think they should swing the opposite direction when they get to the second chapter remake, where the agate slap seems a lot less forceful than it should be. The Shara slap should be changed to a straight punch to the head.
Oh no.
Yeah, Estelle's just sitting there going, he's like, I'm such a shitty bracer, and then just from off screen, smack, straight into her head.
Yeah, you're so shitty, you couldn't even block that hit. You know, Shara having physically beat her up. She then is like, hey, I don't know if you remember when your mom died? Remember how your dad couldn't save your mom in time? Yeah, your dad still blames himself for that, so your dad's not perfect. Which, like, she makes a good point. She's like, no matter how, like, because this is the first time Estelle's ever been like, I'm not as good as my dad. My dad's amazing and I'm nothing like him. Like, she's never, even if she's thought that before, maybe, she's never said out loud, like, I can't live up to my, because she's never, only last chapter did she admit that being Cassius Bright's daughter was a big deal. Like, she only just admitted that he's a big deal. Like, the idea, of course, is Shara being like, you're saying that your dad's, like, perfect. You can't remember the big failing that he's never forgiven himself for either. Like, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. But,
of course, it is a little bit awkward that the way it takes form is her being like, yeah, let's talk about how your mom died right now when you're having the worst, like, when you're freaking out and having a breakdown. Let's remind you of the worst day of your life. But actually, it does make sense and it does work.
Yeah.
Even though slappings are not, don't try this at home. Estelle calms herself down, or gets calmed down by Shara, rather, and she's like, okay, like, you're right, this wasn't my fault, maybe, but I can't leave them here, the Perzels, the close family friends, I can't just leave them here all unconscious alone. And then who should appear to solve that problem but Father Kevin, because he goes to the Professor Alba School of always randomly showing up places.
Yeah, he bursts into the room Kramer style, exactly as he's needed.
Did somebody call for a babysitter? He says, last night we got a panicked report about fog, illness, and possibly the end of the world from Father Divine, which I just love to imagine Father Divine crashing out via, like, Orbital Messenger, like, via Pigeon, via, was it Sieg? I don't know.
I also love how Kevin introduces himself to everyone in the room when he bursts in. At this point, he's like, hello, ladies. It's Kevin, remember? Yeah. Priest, Growls Ritter, mad heroism. That horn of yours sure does get self-tooted a lot, Mr. Kevin.
But yeah, so he's like, I can stay and babysit. I am a priest, which means I have medical training, because that's how the church works here. So I'll look after them. You guys have to go and, like, save the world or whatever. You've got bracer shit to do. So we go back to Rolent, and we have another Anton update.
God, he's been busy.
So if you talk to him before you go visit the guild in the morning, I did it after picking up the chocolates. He goes, how terrible to think someone so lovely had such a secret. I can't carelessly invite her out like this. Curses. Ricky goes, I don't know if that lady really matches Anton's fever dream of an ideal girl. He'd get more out of watching the pigeons if you ask me. I'm serious too. Pigeons are good people. Hard to get tired of watching them burn it up. Ricky needs to hang out with Chloe.
Ricky's great. Is he the one who named all the pigeons? He's why they're called, like, Bacon and Pop-Tart and stuff?
I want to believe so. And speaking of, yes, this is the opportunity. I forgot to say this, but if you were trying to get the Breakfast Odyssey or whatever it's called, achievement, the bacon, you have to talk to last night. There's a pigeon called Bacon. That's the only time you can find them. The night before this, and then you can get I didn't even do it in this playthrough. I was like, fuck it, I can't even be bothered to find Bacon. The pigeons keep running away, whatever. I have the achievement from last game. So, it sounds like Anton maybe experienced the liver of steel that belongs to Ina. That's my impression. And he's crashing out. But then after, when you come back now, after having checked all the Perzels, he says, I pride myself on my sobriety of thought, but the intoxication of love is real. And I think that he's now thinking about the booze thing again and is now trying to come up with a wordplay about drinking. I at first thought he was saying, I pride myself on my sobriety, like, as in, like, he's, like, gonna fall off the wagon for Ina or something, and I thought we were getting some deep, deep Anton lore, but no, apparently that's not what's going on.
Well, I'm glad he's keeping busy, if nothing else.
Yeah, it keeps him out of worse trouble. But yeah, then I head to the guild. At the guild, Jin and Livy, we tell them what's going on. Their thing went well. Ours did not, obviously.
Yeah.
And they conclude that basically we were being set up and taunted. Like, we were never going to be able to get there in time. That whoever it was, this lady, the Mist Demon, whoever, got there before and set things up. And waited for us so that she could, traumatize us all. She's really playing games with us. I think she's mad that we were saying that she hasn't really been, that she's half-baked compared to the other enforcers.
I guess that's a plan, black dress lady. But it's at this point that Ridge, one of the other braces who we rarely see, gets back. We actually, I don't know if you got the...
Oh yeah, we did see him.
Yeah, I got a cutscene coming back from, I think it was Elise Highway.
When we went on Elise Road, yeah, he was escorting folks.
Yeah, he was walking people to Grand Cell because the airships were down. So he's back from his sort of trip there.
He's like, what did I miss? A lot.
Everyone's in comas.
The army's here. He's like, that's weird. I didn't know about that.
And he also mentions another weird thing he's heard on the way home was the sound of a bell coming from Mistwald Forest.
Mm-hmm. And we're like, well, that seems deliberate and convenient. And we do comment that definitely the bell was rung so that Ridge would report to us about it. Like, it's not just, we caught something. But as Shara puts it, this is definitely a trap, but we also have to spring it anyway.
And so they kind of conclude that maybe the center of the problem with the mist that is everywhere is Mistwald, the forest whose name is German for Mist Forest.
Yeah, could be. I mean, the red herring they did put is that it's on the border of where it ends, but it's still like, maybe the Mist Forest has to do with the mist. Wonder about that.
Probably could have considered that at some point, I would say. But what about the place that's already misty?
Yeah. But before we do that, there's some side quests.
Yes.
There's some monsters to get. There's one in Ismellis Tower and one in Milch Road, which I'm not calling Milk Road, it's Milch. And then I finally did the engagement ring as well.
Yes.
When I went to Ismellis. So the Milch Road monster is just some weird horse things, like giant horse ghost things.
Yeah, didn't like them.
That we then see as like individual monsters in Mistwald Forest. However, at Ismellis Tower, we get these horrible motherfuckers who do this world shaker thing. They can only be hurt by arts, but they have coral shell thingies with them that reflect arts, so you can't actually use arts until you've wiped out all of these little mobs. But the world shaker thing is like it hits all your whole party, it does real damage, and it like paralyzes them or something, so it's brutal.
Yeah, it's either the same move or like the same effect of move as the thing those prawn monsters did in the Earthquake chapter.
Oh yeah, the worm guys, the abyss worms. Yeah. It's that vibe.
One of the worst moves introduced in Trails history, I have to say.
At the top of the tower, we find the ring. We bring it to Armand and Ellie. Now they can get married. They're very happy. We might see more of this later. Who knows?
They can't stop themselves from almost fucking every time we talk to them.
Yeah.
They're constantly like, I love you, and I love you, and I love kissing you, and I love touching you. And then we're just like, hey, you're in a church.
We did a job for you. Can you, like, let us sign off our job and then fucking leave before you hook up on the floor of the church? I talked to Father Divine too here and got a great little exchange. Mm-hmm. Basically, unfortunately, Father Divine is not delivering the great line, but he does comment that Estelle's, clearly going through something, but she's pushing forward, and he comments, maybe it's due to the guidance of your seniors that you're coping with this so well. And clearly it means that, like, Cher's taught you well type of thing. But Olivier is in my party, and Olivier goes, oh, it's a bit embarrassing to be thanked so. Still, it is true that I have more or less raised Estelle to be who she is.
Oh.
And his son goes, why is Olivier part of this conversation?
Oh, man. I should keep him around always. He's the best.
He's so good. I am never not happy that he's in a scene. You know what I mean? And I'm always actively pleased by whatever he does in a scene.
At this point, there's no other missions to do, so I guess we should go solve the crisis.
No, now we can go.
Once we get to Mistwald Forest, it's extra misty.
Yep. We're like, oh, hold on to your compass, bitch.
Yeah, this one's another one of those ones where you really, really, really need a map. I had to keep my orientation perfectly facing north so that I could navigate through for this entire section.
Same here.
As you're sort of moving through Mistwald Forest, you hear the jangling of the bell, and the screen goes white, and you find yourself in a different part of the forest, maybe?
It looks like Milch Main Road, actually. Like, it's a big open field. It doesn't look like a forest at all.
Yeah.
It's like a big open field with no, like, signposts of any kind.
Yeah, no clear path, no landmarks or anything. You can just kind of travel off the map north, south, east, or west.
Yeah.
And the trick of it is that you have to do it within 20 screen transitions, find your way to the center of this maze to get the bonus BP. I truly don't know. Is there any sort of visual hinting or audio hinting before you traveled?
Like, you start hearing a bell eventually if you're going the right way or something like that. But I really don't know, like, how you're supposed to figure it out without making mistakes.
Exactly.
Like, I can see how you might eventually figure it out. It's so weird. I don't know how people do it without a guide of some kind.
It's a lot of steps as well.
Yeah.
Because if you were trying and failing through, like, trial and error, is it resetting the steps every time you get one wrong? Or are you just getting that one wrong? It's not very clear. And I couldn't see any visual indications. It's not like there's, a colorful patch of flowers on the direction that you're meant to go or something like that.
No, it's so weird. Like, they took a little too literally in the idea that, like we don't need it to be as hard for us as it is for the characters game. We'll believe you if you say that it felt impossible without actually making it feel impossible.
Yeah. Don't punish me for, like, proving your story beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the point is. You kind of randomly figure out you have 20 steps worth of travel to figure it out, which means that Trails in the Sky second chapter invented blueprints.
Oh, yeah. That is what they do in there. I haven't played it because the first person motion sickness, but...
Oh, true, yeah. Eventually, though, if you do somehow divine the correct directions to go, you make your way out of this labyrinth maze. The screen flashes white again, and we find ourselves in front of the Great Cervace tree.
Yeah.
Which is the big tree at the center of the forest, and it has a big, nasty parasite on it.
It's a gospel that's, like, attached by some weird-ass vines, I guess.
Yeah, they almost look like veins puncturing into the tree. It's really nasty.
They're like purple veins. Yeah, it's quite nasty, but it's like very cool at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we have to fight these deeply annoying fog monsters. My entire note is just deeply annoying fog monsters.
Yeah, it's just another slow fight because they're foggy, they're hard to hit.
Yeah, one of them is immune to arts, one of them is immune to physical, but all of the mobs are really hard to hit with physical, so you like kind of need to, but also they have art canceling things, and also one of them keeps powering up for this craft that you basically need to have Olivier like ready to impede him all the time, but that means Olivier can't be casting all the time, because Olivier is the only one with the range to get at it.
I don't know what it is, but something about the logic of getting impeded doesn't work for me, because so often, especially in this fight, immediately after being impeded from the move, they will just start again. So it feels like you're not achieving anything.
You're just delaying it, yeah.
Each time they recast, like, recasting gets faster. It's why if you are casting a spell and get cancelled, the next time you cast it, you're almost always going to cast it instantly.
Yeah.
So you cancel it and then they just do it again so that you get hit anyway and you've wasted a turn. And it's just like, there should be more delay, or it should do something else instead of immediately casting the spell.
So if I didn't have that issue, like for me, I only got hit by it like once. The rest of the times I managed to impede it in time, but it took fucking forever.
It's a lot of juggling, and it does feel like a wasted effort when you get hit eventually, because you are kind of just locking Olivier or whoever's got an impede handy out to do that. It's a slow fight more than a tough fight.
Yeah.
But eventually we get rid of them, and a lady voice comes from the fog.
And says, you deserve a reward. And yes, I also agree that I deserve a reward, but I'm a little nervous about the fact that some mysterious fog person is telling me that. And then the award I get is more white fog everywhere. Shara gasps at this voice as well, worth noting. Yes. She hears the voice and gasps. Then we get white fog, and we're like, God damn it again. And we get Estelle's walking into her home and her dad's there and he's not. She's like, well, you didn't tell me you had vacation time. Like, what's going on? She seems like she clearly knows that she was in the forest.
Yeah.
But she's a little not like, it's like when you're in a dream and like you're kind of aware of real life stuff, but you keep going along with the dream normally, even though like you're getting lost in the dream. And she talks to Cassius. Cassius is cutting wood, and then a woman comes out, and it's her mother. And oh my god, this is heartbreaking storytelling. The way Estelle goes, you're, and then turns into a child sprite of Estelle. The sprite from the beginning of the first game when Cassius brings Joshua home.
Yeah.
Like she literally shrinks into the small Estelle, and she cries, "Mama!" and runs into her arms, and her mom's like, "Oh, sweetie, did you have a bad dream?" And Estelle's like, "I can't remember it, but you were gone and couldn't come back, and I was so sad." And it's like, clearly that must have been how Estelle understood what happened when it happened, because she was like a little kid. She was 6, I guess. And it's heartbreaking, and then we transition into this like montage of what their lives were like back when Estelle's mom was alive, and just these endless happy days. You know, Cassius was promising, he's like, "I'm home from work, so I'm gonna play any game you want with you." We have a lot of those weird exchanges where Estelle wants to fish, and Cassius is like, "Are you sure you don't want to play house? Fishing is kind of a manly." Like, Cassius is so weirdly sexist to Estelle, and like, I don't think he kept that in the remake as much, but don't girls like pretty clothes? Why do you want to play with bugs? Or like, he keeps saying these kinds of comments, and but Lena's like, you know, Cassius, you're an idiot or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, it's just this sweet montage of their nice, happy family life together. But she keeps being like, I do feel kind of weird, though. My heart feels kind of weird. And it's not entirely clear what you're supposed to do when you regain control. But what it is you need to go up and check the door to Joshua's room.
There's a couple little things I noticed in this scene as well. Because at the start of this scene, you have young Shara at the house as well. She's been playing with Estelle.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's wrapping up. And kind of over the top, like, Estelle's talking about how she doesn't want Shara to leave because she likes having a sister.
Yeah, a sibling. Young Shara's also very cute, like 12-year-old Shara. It's interesting because she looks older than like Tita and Ren, but she does read like a 12-year-old, but I can't tell if that's because like Falcom's making her like older because they're always weirdly sexualizing Shara more than necessary, or whether it's just that like they actually like age, because a 12-year-old does have a little more of a fashion sense, does have a little more of a spunk than like a little kid. So, and
she's probably more grown up as a kid, being in sort of a traveling troupe as well.
For sure.
And while they're talking about wanting a sibling, Cassius and Lena are saying how they, well, if you want another sibling, there's some stuff we would have to do.
Lena's playing it very well. She's like, well, you have to be a very, very good girl if you want that. And Cassius is like, oh god. And then Lena's like, seems to be like, well, maybe. And then Cassius is like really excited as soon as Lena's like, yeah, maybe. He's like, oh!
Because what they say is, it's something like, Cassius says, well, that's up to your mother, really, at the end of the day. And Lena says, I don't know, Cassius, you've got to do some of the work too.
Yeah, you've got a lot of work to do too. And he gets real excited.
They're like, straight up talking over the top of the kids, like, you have to take me to Pound Town if you want another kid, Cassius. And he's very happy about that.
But then she's like, not right now. I gotta go make dinner. He's like, oh, Estelle, you want to go play? And she's like, no, I want to hang out. And Lena's like, oh, shut down by both the women in your life in one go. Lena's very funny.
But also Lena, she goes off to make specifically omelets for dinner because she loves them and they're Estelle's favorite too, which is why that's the recipe that Estelle makes at the start of first chapter. She's keeping her mum's omelet recipe alive. Which was lovely.
I think in the next chapter this comes up again. Like, I think
really?
Estelle there's a side quest where Estelle can figure out her mom's exact recipe.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think that's what it was.
That's so cool.
I think because at the end of the scene, there's a mention of like, my recipe, everything I am lives in you. So, you know, like Mufasa and like, look inside yourself. I am both you or whatever.
All of my omelet lives in you. But yes, then it's time to sort of explore the house, try and get into Josh's room, but it's locked. So we have to go hit up the parents to get in.
And Cassius is like, oh, that's a storage room. You can't go. I guess it's not that. You can explore in there. It's like you can see in real time Cassius being like, out of the trouble that I know Estelle is prone to getting into, hanging out in a room in the house is like one of the most safe things that like, I don't want to know what she'll get up to if we don't let her do this relatively safe thing. He's like, well, your mom keeps the key. So, and I think he probably knows where it is, but it's like, I'll just make sure Lena's okay with it.
Yeah, go ask your mother.
So Lena says, yeah, it's in the my top drawer in my bedroom. So you go get the key, and then Estelle can finally explore. And she's like, this is cool. There's a lot of stuff in here, but my heart feels really weird. It's still little kid Estelle, of course. And then if you go, there's a chest right in the center of the room, or center, like, back of the room, and you can get the harmonica out of it.
Yeah, and I felt vindicated in this moment because this is the little, like, turquoise chest that they use as a background object in a lot of scenes.
That I always think is a real chest.
Because this was, I think it was the Sky Bandits hideout the first time around in FC.
Oh my god, yeah. It drove me crazy.
Where they kept being there and I'd walk into a room and it'd be like, oh, that's a chest, because they do have turquoise chests in later Trails games.
Yeah.
But it's a background object, and finally I got to open one. Vindication.
Yeah, finally! Thank God. Estelle tries to blow into the harmonica, and, like, she always plays the first note of the Whereabouts of Light, but then the rest she can't really play. But it always starts with that same first note. And she's like, I wonder what this is. And she goes to, like, show it to her parents. Cassius is... If you go talk to Cassius, he's like, I don't know who this belongs to. He looks at it, and he looks at it, and he goes, the make Revelt? Well, I really don't know who does it. Lena's like, I don't know who this could belong to. Maybe it's a gift from Adios or something. And then you go out onto the balcony, and it doesn't tell you. I love that it does not, nothing about the game tells you, go onto the balcony and play it. But you know automatically you need to go on the balcony and play it.
Yeah, I went straight to the corner where Joshua was playing at the start of first chapter. I was like, if I'm going to stand anywhere and play his harmonica, it has to be exactly where he was.
Yeah. It's just kind of amazing how well, like, it doesn't signpost that at all, and yet it feels, like, so obvious. I think that's, it just really speaks to how effective this story is and how well it sticks in your brain.
Yeah, I think in my head it was a combination of, like, it feels narratively correct to use this event object in, like, the most narratively correct spot.
Yeah.
But then another part of, like, the more practical part of my brain was like, well, if I was a kid with a harmonica and tried to play it in the house, my parents would yell at me. So, of course, I have to go outside.
This is true. Then you go outside and you play it, and Estelle's struggling. She can't quite play it right. Then she's playing it a bit better. It was like she's mostly getting the tune, but a few notes are off. Like, she got a few bum notes, or a few that are just like she goes high when the song goes high, but she doesn't hit the right high note. And then after a few tries, she goes, no, it goes like this, and she plays it perfectly.
Yeah, after getting snippets of memory of, like, shots of, like, her life with Joshua as well.
Before the last time, she starts remembering him saying things about, like, well, it's not as hard as, like, using a staff, or it's just about concentration or whatever.
Yeah.
And after she plays it perfect, I think she turns into grown-up Estelle and then plays it perfectly.
She does, yeah. She transforms back as she plays.
Yeah, it's really good.
This is where it gets really sad.
The whole world fades away. It's just Estelle on a black background. And then they go right for the heartstrings.
Lena appears.
Yeah.
She fades in and starts talking to Estelle. She's very aware of the situation that they're in.
She's like, this is just a dream. And I'm not even really your mom. I'm just, like, a phantom of your memory of her.
Yeah.
Estelle's like, I kind of figured. You're still my mom, even if you're not, even if you're just whatever. You're still my mom.
Yeah, and she says, even if I'm not your mum, knowing that you're, like, strong, happy, and healthy makes me feel at peace.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. And then she has a little bit of a speech at the end. Sort of a golden shining door appears.
Yes.
Which is the exit to the dream.
What happens is Estelle says, I kind of wish I got to eat your omelets one more time before the dream woke up, though. And she's like, well, you still can. Like, that's everything is my omelet recipe lives within you.
She says, everything you are as a parent, your skills, your dreams, your hopes for their future, you pass down to your children, knowingly or not. Even if you never have a chance to teach them directly, everything you do, every thought and word, they carry with them as long as they live. You carry me with you, Estelle. Omelette and all.
Which is such a goofy ending, but it's such a sweet speech. Like, I love that speech. And I love that it ends on, like, a silly-ish note. But it still doesn't undercut that the speech is really moving.
Yeah, that's like a very mum thing to do. Just like a fun little joke with your kid.
Yeah.
And then Estelle turns and walks into the light to return to the waking world.
Estelle wakes up, and Shara, we hear Shara shouting, like, Estelle, wake up, and Estelle wakes. Clearly, she's been trying for a while. Shara wasn't knocked out, I guess, and she's been trying for a while, and Estelle's like, God damn it, and then she turns and shouts, get out of the dream, like, or something like that. She shouts something, like, to wake up the others, and it manages, and Shara's like, what the fuck, I've been trying to wake them up all this time, how did you do it in one go? But everyone's awake now. Your party members comment on the fact that they were, like, stuck in a dream, but they don't really get into specifics about what they dreamed about.
Yeah.
But then Shara has clearly had enough, and she turns around, and she tells... Show yourself, Luciola. So she is finally saying the thing that she's clearly had a suspicion for a long time now in this chapter. She says, Luciola. And she goes, you finally called for me, the weird voice. And a woman appears. And we get a cool title alert. It was Enforcer number 6. Luciola, the Bewitching Belle. We also get her portrait art. Why is the top of her outfit just like black tape like around like her back and over her boobs, but like and then showing her midriff, but she has a turtleneck in her portrait and also it's like a kimono sleeves. It's what is happening with this outfit, girl?
This is bizarre. It's like she's using like a binding tape exactly the wrong way.
Yeah.
Just barely covering her nipples, I guess providing a kind of structure. It's a bizarre look.
It's so weird. And if it was just normal kimono, like if it was a solid top, it would actually be a pretty nice look. Like with the turtleneck and the long sleeves, like it'd be kind of nice. But instead, there's some weird like black tape fake kinkster like thing going on. It clashes with the vibe of the rest of it too.
She ran out of either money or fabric when she was doing the corseting bit. Because the rest of the outfit is great.
Yeah.
She looks like a real diva just like stomping around in a forest in her like runway best with the biggest fan I've ever seen.
And when you just see her like her portrait from the neck up or whatever, like she looks great.
Yeah.
Like she's got this high black ponytail. Like she looks great. She looks fierce.
Very long neck, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Miss Lucy, the Bewitching Belle, maybe not going to win Best Dressed at the Society Awards.
No, she's like close, except for the fucking top. The whole torso is just a mess.
Such a mess.
But anyway, she has an exchange with Shara. Estelle's like, "Oh, Shara, you know this person?" And Lucille is like, "I'm so hurt, Estelle." And Estelle's like, "Wait, you're Miss Lucy?" And like you get an image. We already saw this image when Shara was talking about how she got to meet Estelle. And there's two people sitting at a table in the background. And then when you see it again, like now it's clear that Luciola is one of the two people sitting in the background as Estelle and Shara are playing. Shara basically, there's like a bit of an exchange where you get the information that Lucy left, and that's what set Shara adrift, which ended up with her deciding to come to Liberal and be a bracer.
Yeah.
And then Shara's like, "But this has become my new home and my new family. I'm no longer the dancing girl Shara of the Harvey troupe. I'm Scheherazade Harvey the Bracer." You get some comment from Luciola like, "Oh, good, you've got lots of resolve. You'll need it." Something like that. But then the scene's fairly short.
But before we wrap up the scene, we do get a little bit of explanation of what's been going on in Rolent from Miss Lucy, the Bewitching Belle. First of all, Shara does confirm that bell-based illusions are apparently her specialty, which is why she was so freaked out by the bell sound every time it happened.
Yes. What kind of circus show was this?
Yeah, exactly. Like tarot readings and illusion shows and whips.
Did anybody juggle? Like where's the normal circus shit?
Honestly. So Luciola says that the gospel is what made the fog, which is basically she wired it, I guess, into this tree, and something about the water around the tree which gave rise to the fog, and then was able to like supercharge it in the way that these gospels do. And then that fog acted as like a conductor for her illusion powers.
Right.
Which is how she was able to like trap them in these fully enclosed illusions that we just broke out of. So Estelle kind of just like does her thing that I love she does. She's just had enough. She's like, all right, tell me what's going on now. And just insists, like, tell me what the big picture is. Like, what is going on with all these experiments? Why are you doing these little things in each town?
Fuck is your deal?
Yeah, what's the deal, man? And Lucy evades entirely. She does mention the professor and Louvet. And Estelle kind of highlights the thing that we've been seeing throughout the game. She's like, I keep hearing these names. The professor and Louvet. Who are they?
Oh, yeah. Who are you talking about?
What is the situation? And yeah, Luciola's like, you'll see when the time comes, which might be soon.
I think she mentions you've met both of them, too.
Yeah, she confirms that Estelle's met them both before, which Estelle is completely baffled by.
Yes.
Because as we know, she doesn't remember Professor Alba.
And she never really learned Louvet was Lord. Like, she didn't actually learn that.
She never explicitly got the connection between the names. She's seen his face when they had the fight on top of the castle, and it doesn't seem like she's forgotten that. So she hasn't forgot he exists, she just doesn't have a connection for him specifically.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Shara tells her, fuck off and leave my new life alone. She rings her bell and fades away, taking the gospel with her. So the gross veins are still on the tree, but the actual gospel, which looked like an evil eye on the tree, has disappeared. So we don't have any more evidence. But luckily back in Rolent, we see the fog fading and the people who had fallen into coma starting to wake up.
Yeah, it's good. You get a really funny bit with Radford. Like, you see everybody waking up, but, like, in bed, opening their eyes, and then you see Radford is standing up and does a spin to show off that he's all awake and all good for his family, which I just like that little touch. He just, like, spins around for them. Like, if healthy, spin.
Back at the Bracer Guild, we sort of checking in, kind of collecting all of our facts and do kind of an enforcer roll call at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
we know 6 of them now, right?
Yeah, so the enforcers we know so far, we've got number 10, Blue Blanc the Phantom Thief. Number 8, Walter the Direwolf. Number 15, Ren the Angel of Slaughter. Number 6, Luciola the Bewitching Belle. And number 0, Campanella the Fool. Aina also highlights that in addition to these 5, we also have heard 2 names repeatedly, the Professor and Louvet. It seems likely that one of the 2 is the man we know as Lieutenant Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And in this scene, you do actually have specifically silhouettes of Louvet and Professor Alba in the background. It doesn't look like it's his new, Vegas Pope fit. It's just his classic look. Now,
I want to do something fun here. As you may have clocked, if you know anything about Teoh, and also because I said it when we first met Campanella, Campanella is the Fool, number 0. 0 is the Fool in the Arcana. All of the Enforcers you can connect to one of the major Arcana. Now that we've got a good list of their numbers, do you wanna, I won't do a whole explanation of what they mean yet, but if you want to list the numbers again, and I can just say what everyone's Arcana is, that might be fun.
Yeah, sure. So number 10 is Blue Blanc.
And that's the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune generally is about, it's kind of like fate outside of your control affecting your life. As opposed to things that are in your control affecting your life. I mean, there's other things that you can read into it, but that makes me think for Blur Blah how his fucking riddles keep coming and fucking with our lives. And it's like, God damn it.
Fate outside your control, like when some guy shows up, steals your shit, and leaves a bad riddle.
Yeah, exactly. So it can be about life cycles. Turning Point is all about cycles, but it can also be about resistance to change and breaking cycles. And clearly he won't change his ways from doing all these fucking riddle scavenger hunts.
Yeah.
So
even when it's clear that his heart is no longer in it. Number 8 is Walter.
And that is strength or justice, depending on the deck, but I'm thinking it's strength for Walter.
Strength makes sense, yeah.
Exactly. Now, strength, obviously, everything has, if it's upright, one meaning, and then if it's reversed, another meaning. So, strength, upright, it's pretty straightforwardly, strength, courage, and, it can also mean, compassion, or, strength of will, or, strength of character, or whatever. Reverse, it can mean self-doubt. It can mean uncontrolled strength, or, raw emotion that dictates your strength. It can also mean that you're, lacking strength. Whether it's you have physical strength but lack the inner strength or vice versa, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's Walter's card.
So next up was number 15, Ren.
That's the devil.
Yep.
The devil, it refers to this concept of a shadow self, a shadow self is a concept of the dark kind of shadow of yourself inside yourself. It tends to stand for a lot of our vices, right? In Persona 3, Tanaka is the devil, and he's the one who you have to basically give a bunch of your money to, and then he's constantly trying to get you into his pyramid scheme. So addiction or overindulgence or stuff like that.
Yeah.
In reverse, it's actually more positive oftentimes. It can be about kind of processing your inner darkness and your dark thoughts and kind of working through that. It can be about letting go of the vices or the cycles of things that you're attached to, your beliefs that hold you down. But the devil tends to be about vice. It's like the devil on your shoulder.
Right, okay. Then we had number 6, Luciola.
That's the Lovers. The Lovers is the card associated with free choice. It's the first card because the Arcana, major Arcana, all kind of tell a story in the Fool's journey, and the Lovers is when free will and choice first appear. It has to do a lot with values and figuring out your values and whether they align with another person's or not, and what you care about. It can also, if it's reversed, it can be values that don't line up with someone. It can be being out of harmony, out of balance with another person. It can either be, only loving yourself and not other people, or loving other people and not taking care of yourself too. It can be either a lack of nurture or the consequence of being only nurturing at the expense of yourself.
And then the last one was Campy, the Fool.
Yes, and the Fool is basically infinite potential. It's the beginning of the journey. It's, nothing, but you have all of the world ahead of you. It's free-spiritedness. When it's reversed, it can be about being reckless, being careless with consequences, taking a lot of risks, or it can be about refusing to begin something, staying stuck and refusing to begin a journey.
Even beyond this game, I don't know that much about Campanella, so...
He's an enigma. And
a terrible haircut. Really awful.
It kind of fits his vibe very well, though, despite it all.
It does, yeah.
He does... It does look like a little kid's haircut.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it looks like your parents took you to the barber, or your mom took you to the barber, or the hairdresser, or whatever, and it's kind of a terrible haircut, but you're stuck with it.
It's that awkward mid-phase length of hair, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But once we've finished up the roll call of the enforcers at the guild, along with the sort of mystery members that we haven't quite nailed down.
There was one more thing I wanted to point out, just while talking about Luciola's powers. Estelle refers to, like, what happened with the fog and affecting people's minds, the gospel being able to affect people's minds. She calls it pure orbal fiction instead of science fiction.
Oh, yes, I did get that screenshot.
I thought that was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Guys, I'm usually defensive of everything being called orbal. I'm like, well, it makes sense. You know, we say email, but it's electronic mail, e-transfer, e-whatever. We use that a lot. But orbal fiction, you're telling me they didn't have sci-fi until the Orbital Revolution 50 years ago? Like, really?
Yeah.
They must have had science fiction novels before that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's pure electronic fiction.
Yeah. Like, do you mean fan fiction? Like, is that what you mean? Like, I mean, fan fiction predates the internet, but I'm like, do you mean, like, is it like a soap opera?
Yeah, you know what? Whenever the OrbalNet rolls around, Estelle's definitely going to end up on AO3, for sure.
Oh my god, of course she is.
So yes, after doing the roll call of the enforcers, Estelle decides to share the photo with the rest of the crew of Joshua and Gisette on the Capua's ship.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of lets everyone in on that, and that's why she's been so anxious about going to Bose.
Mm-hmm.
But she does reconfirm her resolve to continue on her own path of improvement.
Yeah, to become the person she needs to be.
Yeah, instead of just chasing after Joshua, she's like, I am going to focus on working on me to eventually do that. Which is similar to what they did in the first game. It's like, we are going to work on becoming senior braces, while in the background working on...
finding Dad.
Yeah, process your feelings through work.
That's totally healthy?
Yeah.
Yes. No, I know. This is a very healthy version of that. Deal with your feelings through work sounds a bit like just become a workaholic and ignore them, which is not what's going on here. No, but I feel you. And I really like this Estelle focus on, like, there's a person I need to become and I'm working on becoming that person. And
yeah.
I have faith that my connection with Joshua isn't going to disappear just because he's hanging out with Gisette.
Yes, I can't be good for others until I'm good for myself.
We love you, Estelle.
We reaffirm that we're going to move on to Bose again now that the fog is cleared and airship travel can continue. And that brings us to the end of chapter 4.
It does. It does. And that was a fun little chapter.
Yeah, like, not the shortest chapter ever, but a nice little sort of self-contained episode that I was able to do in pretty much one day of gameplay. I'm just excited to get into the next chapter because it sounds like we are very close to a reunion moment.
So what we're going to do for next episode, it is a bit of a weird way to do a breaking point, so bear with me. So I think it's pretty clear we're going to Bose next chapter. That's the only city we haven't hit up yet. When you get to Bose, after you finish up in Rolent, seeing what's around, after you get there, there's going to be 6 side quests. 3 of them are mandatory. We're going to do the non-mandatory ones and then call it. And we'll do the 3 mandatory side quests at the beginning of the next one. They're all 3 monster extermination ones. They're just in, like, far corners that, like, make it a... I'm not going to make you climb Amber Tower after we've already done, like, a half chapter's worth of gameplay. So that's a weird way to put it, but you're going to do the 3 optional side quests in Bose. That's my plan. Now, they're good, fun side quests, and fun stuff happens other than that. Like, there's good stuff, don't get me wrong. But that's my plan.
Well, that takes care of that.
So, that will bring us to the end of this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 4 of Trails in the Sky, second chapter.
Yeah.
It's been a joy, as always, to talk about this game. If you'd like to interact with the show more, you can find us on the OrbalNet at trailspod.online or through theworstgarbage.online as part of the Worst Garbage podcast network. We're also TrailsPod on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Instagram, but mostly just Blue Sky. And you can send us an email at trailsthroughtrails@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or other interesting Trails facts. Surprise us. Teach us something new.
Sure. See if you can teach me something new.
See if you can teach Lex something new. Yeah. On our next episode, our Trails will be taking us to Chapter 5, where we will be stopping off with those side quests in the first half of the chapter. Before we stop doing podcast now...
Before I send Lex to bed.
Let's talk chest messages.
Yeah.
Every week we like to sing out our favourite chest messages. Didn't really do it this week because there were too many things going on in Rolent to talk about them. But we do like to sing out 3 of our fellow TWG shows from the TWG Community Chest. That's it. Mm-hmm. So let us open up the chest and see who is in there today. Ooh, Hell yeah. First one up is video game podtimism.
Oh, we love video game optimism. It's the Optimist Video Game Variety Show.
It is, with our friends Chase and David. Chase, who was on our previous season 1 finale, and David, who I think is just too healthy of a person to get into the Trails series, so
Probably.
good for him. But no, they love to sing out the okayest games out in the world, find games that are not the best, not the worst, and kind of like sing their praises. It's a great show. It definitely informs me on games that I did not know about before. And if you've been keeping an eye on their feed, when they took a little break for Chase to have his first child with his lovely partner, we surprised them with a little bonus episode, Video Game Dadtimism, where we just ranked dads from video games. It was a great time.
That was fun. Cassius made it in there.
He sure did. Can't have a list of dads without Cassius. VGP are also back to their regular posting schedule now, so you can pick up and get a weekly dose of podtimism from the boys.
Yeah.
Now, number 2... Next up in the chest is Flow State.
I feel kind of awkward doing this one because I'm a writing partner on Flow State, so it's a bit weird to plug myself.
Nepotism.
I swear this was not like a planned bit, but I'm going to use this to plug our most recent episode.
Yeah, go for it.
I talked about it at the beginning of the episode, but we did a review of the game Consume Me, which is an independent game that just came out. Came out the same day as Hades 2, so make sure you go give it some love. It's an incredible game. It's about a teenage girl dealing with all the struggles of being a teenage girl through some really hilarious minigames, almost like WarioWare style minigames, but dealing with some real shit. The eating disorders make a big part of it, but the eating disorder is a part of an overall trying to exert control over a life that you feel out of control over. You can't live up to all the pressures. You can't live up to whatever. It's really funny. I know it's really weird to be like, it's about eating disorders, and it's really funny, but it is. So it's a great game, and we did a video talking about it. I have a history with eating disorders myself, so I really care about how they're depicted in media, and I think a lot of media either romanticizes them or trivializes them or gets wrong that they exist in a wider context of, like, they're often more a coping mechanism for other shit going on in your life that you can't grapple with, rather than the way people often in media make it seem like, oh, dieting out of control, or oh, this or that. There's a lot more to them. Yeah. And I think this game does a really good job of dealing with what they are in a way that is not depressing. Like, obviously, the serious of it starts with content warning. They don't pretend that it's not a serious thing. They deal with it, but it's also really fun and pleasant, and the main character is really charming, and it's a hilarious game a lot of the time. And it's just brilliant mechanically, the way they do all these little micro games, and yeah, it's a great game, and I'm really proud of that video, so go check it out. We'll put it in the show notes. Yeah, one of many great videos over on Flow State. Alrighty, and our lucky last chess message for the week is next portable console. NPC. I still think that's like the cleverest title. Next portable console is ITA's own Brennan Bigley, as well as Federico Vidici and John Voorhees, talking about handheld gaming consoles or portable PCs or whatever the name for the category is these days. It's about portable consoles, the next one, potentially. I'm pretty sure they originally were like, this is just buying time for the Switch 2 to come out, but they talk about a lot of stuff. They review a lot of like smaller new ones as well as big ones like the Switch 2 and whatever Xbox is cooking. It's a lot of fun. And then sometimes someone will go over like how they managed to get a game running, and I'm like, this is witchcraft. Yeah, it truly baffles me. I've barely dipped my toe into the portable console market. I bought one of the little Anbinic emulator devices that looks like a classic Game Boy. Play Trails on, and it didn't play Trails on it. Yeah, it was not going to be a long-term solution for that, for sure. Listening to that show, watching the video versions on YouTube as well, it is staggering how many of those devices are out there. How many options there are. I guess I'm lucky that I picked an okay one, but there are so many choices, and it is nice to have a trio dedicated to just telling me which ones are good or not, because I need the help. They have ones that are like a 3DS emulator that look like the clamshell and everything. Oh, this new 3DS looking one looks so good. And some of those cost more than a PlayStation 5, so you need the help to pick the right one. You don't want to get that choice wrong. Yeah. So John, Federico, and Brennan are the ones to listen to. Check it out if you like gaming. John and Federico are from Mac Stories as well, though I think they're still doing other stuff at Mac Stories, but the podcast is now TWG. It's kind of like a child of both. A child of two websites. And that was 3, right? That was 3. That was our chess messages for the week. With the TWG Community Chest closed, that will do it for us this week. Next week we'll be back to play the first half of Chapter 5. But until then, I've been Matt. And I've been Lex.
And we will see you next time on Trails Through Trails. Goodbye.
Bye.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.